Xer.
One day every nation, they gon' all know his name. Let everything that have breath call on his name. Yahuwah is Alua, bring no harm to his name. Palms to the heavens, I palah to his name. One day every nation, they gon' all know his name. Let everything that have breath call on his name. Yahuwah is Yahusha, bring no harm to his name. Palms to the heavens, I palah to these names. Bow down, every knee shall bow. Yahuwah is his name, I proclaim it out loud. Bow down, every knee shall bow. Yahusha HaMashiach, I proclaim it out loud. Those that worship Yahuwah must worship him in spirit and in truth. How can you do that if you attach your worship to a lie? There is no power in the name of Jesus or any other name given to man other than Yahuwah Yahusha. Barak Bahasham Yahuwah Yahusha. Tarasha Kanan Ukasad Yahuwah Alua Heinu Bashamayam. One day every nation, they gon' all know his name. Let everything that have breath call on his name. Yahuwah is Alua, bring no harm to his name. Palms to the heavens, I palah to his name. One day every nation, they gon' all know his name. Let everything that have breath call on his name. Yahuwah is Yahusha, bring no harm to his name. Palm to the heavens, I palah to these names. Bow down, every knee shall bow. Yahuwah is his name, I proclaim it out loud. Bow down, every knee shall bow. Yahusha HaMashiach, I proclaim it out loud.
Xer.
Yeah, the earth is flat. Yeah, the earth is flat.
Flat, 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 flat.
Flat as a map.
Flat, 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 flat.
Yeah, it's flat as a map. Hey, they lying to your kids, talking about some outer space. And the earth is not a globe, they won't tell that to your face. We live under the dome, that's the firmament encased. And the earth doesn't spin foundations, hold the earth in place. Round spinning ball, ain't no round spinning ball. You won't find no curvature, it don't exist at all. The Bible you can't circumvent, covered by a firmament. Yah's word is pertinent, the Bible is determinate. NASA logo, that's the tongue of a snake. And the sun inside the dome, yeah, it's closer than you think. Not a million miles away, see its reflection in the lake. And no water sits above us, no pictures of water shown in space. They try to hide Yahuwah, his creation shows his face. And the Bible is his word, and it cannot be erased. And the lies NASA telling, yeah, they leave me with this taste. His existence can't be seen, but his work is not disgraced. Yeah, the earth is flat. Yeah, the earth is flat.
Flat, 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 flat.
Flat as a map.
Flat, 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 flat.
Yeah, it's flat as a map. Yeah, the earth is flat. Yeah, the earth is flat.
Flat, 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 flat.
Flat as a map.
Flat, 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 flat.
Yeah, it's flat as a map. Y'all created firmament for the waters above. Gates of heaven opened up and it brought us the flood. His creation has a purpose, dome solid like a rock. And it's thrown above the waters and he sits up at the top. You can say that I'm crazy and it's hard to believe me. They tried to hide the truth inside the Antarctic Treaty. Discovered all these facts that continue to intrigue me. Killing programming from TV, it ain't easy. These images of Earth photoshopped and they digital. Flat Earth is biblical, these planets they are fictional. I'ma say it loud, yeah, they faked the moon landing. They never made it there, so there was no smooth landing. 1969, just that Hollywood magic. Yeah, they made it look cinematic, it's all just theatrics. Telling all those lies, NASA telling all those lies. How many more false truths will they all devise? Yeah, the earth is flat. Yeah, the earth is flat.
Flat, 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 flat.
Flat as a map.
Flat, 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 flat.
Yeah, it's flat as a map. Yeah, the earth is flat. Yeah, the earth is flat.
Flat, 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 flat.
Flat as a map.
Flat, 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 flat.
Yeah, it's flat as a map.
So ultimately, you have to make a decision. What do you believe? Do you believe what the Bible says? Or do you believe what a bunch of Satanists are telling you? The truth is, they're trying to hide the Creator from you. They don't want to give him any credit. They want to act like he don't exist. And if you don't believe in a Creator, then basically you just believe that there was just a big bang and then boom, existence. That's literally the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. For real. I mean, these same people that you trust in told you that we evolved from monkeys. So how are there still monkeys? Everything is a lie. We've been programmed since we were kids in kindergarten with a big round ball in the middle of the room telling us that that's the earth. It's not. Go look up Project Fishbowl, where they literally tried to fire nukes into the dome to try to break it open. But they can't.
Hey, Yexer.
No matter where you go on this earth, you will not find a curvature. As far as the horizon as you may go, you will not find no curve. There's an ice wall that surrounds this flat plain known as Earth that keeps the water in. NASA, never a straight answer.
Your head, oh, head.
Hey,
Da, da,
Yexer.
da, da, da. Tell me why they mad, ayy. Tell me why they mad. Tell me why they mad. Yeah, they all so mad. Tell me why they mad, ayy. Tell me why they mad. Tell me why they mad. Yeah, they all so mad. Yo, his name is Yahuwah. Put respect on his name. I ain't wearing no cross on my neck with no chain. I don't bow down to Jesus. I don't bow down to idols. Ayy, I bow my head in prayer. I submit to the Bible. Christianity itself is religious deception. And these pastors take your money. They traditions is pagan. Ayy, I gotta tell the truth. And I may lose some fans. Cause I'm as real as I am. Ayy, I may lose some bands. Tell me why they mad. Ayy, tell me why they mad. Tell me why they mad. Yeah, they all so mad. Tell me why they mad. Ayy, tell me why they mad. Tell me why they mad. So they all so mad. Your head, oh, head. Da 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 da. Your head, oh, head. Da 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 da. I'm like, ooh. Why they mad at me? Yo, they running from the truth, grab their bags and they flee. The Most High don't lie, the truth matters to me. I don't let a lie fester unilaterally. Messiah and his people, yo, they didn't speak English. And the Greeks changed his name from Maisis to Jesus. If his name doesn't matter, then why did they remove it? There is power in his name, they don't want you to use it. Yasharel waking up and we forming a movement. We returning to his laws and we seeing improvement. You presented with the truth that's been laid in this beat. Yahuwah and Yahusha, whatever language you speak. Yeah, tell me why they mad, ayy. Tell me why they mad. Tell me why they mad. Yeah, they all so mad. Tell me why they mad, ayy. Tell me why they mad. Tell me why they mad. Yeah, they all so mad. So the moral story is, the name of the Most High is Yahuwah. In Paleo, that's spelled Yod Head Uah Head. The name of the Son is Yahusha. That's spelled Yod Het Uah Shin Ayin. It's not God, it's not Lord, and it's not Jesus Christ. Put some respect on their names.
Hey, Yexer. Hey, Yexer.
We came here as slaves, now it's time to flee. Captivity began in 1619 AD. We didn't have a choice, this was forced migration. Millions of us died before we reached the plantation. Our women violated, we deprived of our language. They wanna keep it silent, so they find a tree to hang us. It's ultimate control with the crack of a whip. And they beat us every chance that they could get. To the skin of our backs, we're bloody and split. When that barbed wire whip hit our flesh, it was ripped. Pregnant mothers thrown overboard, chained up on ships. And we get no reparations, and it don't make no sense. And nobody factors in the psychological damage that we still had to manage at a great disadvantage. They said we 3/5 of a person, and they said that we savage. The slave masters never went to jail and still living lavish. It's a war against Jacob, it's the hatred of Jacob. And the nations are against you when it's time that you wake up. And we hated by the nations, that's the stake you must take up. And Yahuwah love his people, he will never forsake us. It's a war against Jacob, it's the hatred of Jacob. And the nations are against you when it's time that you wake up. And we hated by the nations, that's the face that's not made up. us. And Yahusha coming back and he will never forsake us. It's a war against Jacob, this the hatred of Jacob. And the nations are against you when it's time that you wake up. And we hated by the nations, that's the stake you must take up. And Yahuwah will love his people, he will never forsake us. It's a war against Jacob, this the hatred of Jacob. And the nations are against you when it's time that you wake up. And we hated by the nations, that's the face that's not made up. And Yahusha coming back and he will never forsake us. Negro land in Africa, the kingdom of Judah. And they knew who we were, and that's why they pursued us. And they brought us on a slave ship, betrayed us like Judas. This whole country built by Hebrews, they just killed us and used us. It's the white man religion, and they made us all Christian. Use our book as a weapon and remove what's been written. How you violate our women and you never go to prison. They packed us on the slave ships, the worst conditions. And it's all about control and colonization. Slavery the biggest holocaust, they ignore that conversation. Throwing money at the small hat, supporting their evil. And they stole our identity, you defending these people. Scripture say, blessed Yasharel, you will be blessed. But because we all black, we don't get that respect. Chains of iron on our necks, gave our daughters for sex. And they set us all free, but we treat it as less. It don't take a genius just to see that we press. Exposing racism ain't racist, we just grieved in the press. And they had to be possessed to think they freedom or less. Recompense will be brutal and it will leave you distressed. It's a war against Jacob, this the hatred of Jacob. And the nations are against you when it's time that you wake up. And we hated by the nations, that's the stake you must take up. And Yahuwah will love his people, he will never forsake us. It's a war against Jacob, this the hatred of Jacob. And the nations are against you when it's time that you wake up. And we hated by the nations, that's the face that's not made up. And Yahusha coming back and he will never forsake us. It's a war against Jacob, this the hatred of Jacob. And the nations are against you when it's time that you wake up. And we hated by the nations, that's the stake you must take up. And Yahuwah will love his people, he will never forsake us. It's a war against Jacob, this the hatred of Jacob. And the nations are against you when it's time that you wake up. And we hated by the nations, that's the face that's not made up. And Yahusha coming back and he will never forsake us.
I thought we all came from like the Ivory Coast. I didn't know where we came from. No, they went to a specific place because do you remember the white boy was saying that they were saying that there was a bad word on us that said these people are cursed of their God. That's why they did it. So when they would sell us, they would be like, don't worry about it, they cursed. Now then what did that mean? Somebody read Deuteronomy. Somebody read Deuteronomy and said these people are supposed to be slaves. And that's why they did that. Because they saw in the book that this is who y'all are. This is what y'all Bible say, and that's what we gonna do to y'all. And then they erased it all, so you never know who you are. Now we just over here, adopting all customs. We think we're Italian, name ourselves Italian. We call ourselves the Mexican name. We don't know who we are. We adopt every culture because we are people don't know who we are.
Hey, Exer.
Ready to go, hit the like button for sure. Yeah, you already know. Dun 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 dun. La 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 la. Hey, Exer.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Welcome back. All praises to the Most High. It's your boy Yexer. Back again with another episode. Please hit the like button. Shout out to all the mods. Shout out to everybody that's here. Good to see you guys. Thank you, everybody that has joined our stream today. So we are going to be continuing this series on the judgment of America, the judgment of Babylon. And we started this the first episode yesterday for Shabbat, and we looked at identifying, what is Mystery Babylon? What is this final, Babylonian kingdom that is marked for judgment? And before we jump into the nitty gritty and we talk about the, the judgments that are coming and everything, be sure, if you haven't, to check out the first episode, which is this episode. This is the second episode. So if you are a little bit lost as far as what we're discussing today, I highly suggest you go check out the first episode. But just for those who didn't check it out, we'll do a little bit of a review of what we talked about in the first episode, and then we will continue on from there. Okay. So let me go ahead and let me bring up our scriptures that we were looking at yesterday. And by the way, if you want access to all these scriptures, be sure to check out the description box. We have all of these scriptures here laid out for you on my blog, and it'll be linked in the description box below. And if you are watching the replay, we will be sure also to have it in the pinned comment as well, in case you don't want to go into the description box, but you also want access to these scriptures. They will be linked in the description box as well as the pinned comment once this replay, once you're catching the replay. Okay. So let's go ahead and let's share my screen, and we're going to just go ahead and look at some of these scriptures. And I'm also going to show you guys ancient Babylon. I have found ancient Babylon. If y'all been rocking with me for a minute, y'all already know I know where ancient Babylon is. And today I'm going to show you where it is. For those who don't know and who are interested to know, where was Nimrod's Babylon? Where was Nebuchadnezzar's Babylon? Today I'm going to show you where it is. So give me a second. All right, wonderful. Let me make this bigger. Okay. So we're going to just go through this blog, and we're going to look at, just a little bit of a review of what we talked about yesterday. We talked about how there are three Babylons, okay? You have Nimrod's Babylon, you have Nebuchadnezzar's Babylon, and then you have Mystery Babylon, okay? So they're going to just reread the scriptures we looked at from yesterday so we can kind of get just a understanding of what it is with these three Babylons. Then I'm going to show you ancient Babylon, which would be Nimrod's Babylon and be Nebuchadnezzar's Babylon. I'm going to show you proof of that in a minute. Okay. So let me scroll in. All right. So Bereshit, Genesis 10, 6-10. And the sons of Ham, Cush, and Mizraim put in Canaan. And the sons of Cush, Kaba, Kavila, Kapta, Ra'amah, Kaptaka. And the sons of Ra'amah, Sheba, and Dedan. And Cush begot Nimrod. He began to be a giant upon the earth, and he was a giant hunter before Yahuwah. Therefore, they say, as Nimrod, the giant hunter before Yahuwah. And the beginning of his kingdom was what? Babylon, and Orek, and Arkad, and Calnain in the land of Sinar or Shinar. And I want you to pay attention to this land of Shinar or Sinar, okay? Because that's going to be very, very important when proving where ancient Babylon was. Okay. Yummy is in the building. All praises to the Most High. Good to see you. Idiot Maccabee Jones is here. Shalom, shalom, beloved sister. Abi Yahu is here. Shalom to you. Jinia is here. Shalom, shalom. Make sure I'm not missing anybody. Shiloh Yah is here. Hey, sis. Good to see you. All praises to the Most High. Let's see. I'm going to make sure I'm not missing anybody. I want to give some shout outs to everybody coming in. Please hit the like button on your way in. I appreciate you guys. Okay. Wonderful. All right. So let's keep going. All right. So we see here that Nimrod was a son of Cush. Okay, so he was obviously a Hamite, and he built this first world empire, or this kingdom, or this nation known as Babylon. So the first world empire, as we discussed yesterday, was built by this Kushite whose name was Nimrod. Okay, a son of Ham. All right, so let's keep going. Now we're going to read about. We're going to continue on discussing Nimrod. Then we'll get to Nebuchadnezzar. Okay. This is Bereshit, Genesis 10, 6-9. Verse 6 says, and Yahuwah said, behold, there is one race and one lip of all. And they have begun to do this, and now nothing shall fail from them of all that they have undertaken to do. Come, and having gone down, let us go there and confound their tongue. So Yahuwah came to confuse the languages, because Nimrod, he had an agenda to try to challenge the Most High by building what was known as the Tower of Babel, or what they say in the modern day, the Tower of Babel. Okay. They that may not understand each the voice of his neighbor, and Yahuwah scattered them thence over the face of all the earth, and they left off building the city and the tower. On this account, its name was called Confusion. Okay, so understand that Babylon and the ways of Babylon is not just so much paganism, but also confusion. And that's why you think of modern day America today, it's nothing but confusion. You've got transgenders, you've got, so many doctrines being thrown around in this land. You've got interpretations of scripture based in the English and not the ancient tongue. And, all of these different things. It is a land of confusion, because there Yahuwah confounded the languages of all the earth, and thence Yahuwah scattered them upon the face of the earth. So they were, Nimrod had commissioned the inhabitants of Babylon to build this Tower of Babel to try and challenge the Most High. Now, what's interesting also that I notice a lot of people don't talk about is Nimrod also built this tower not to only try to directly fight against the Most High, but he also built this tower because he knew what he was doing was wrong, and he wanted to build a tower that was high enough so if there was another flood, he would not drown. Okay, Tiffany's in the building. Shalom, sis. Good to see you. All praises to the Most High. Good to see you, sis. Abigail's here. Shalom to you, sis. All right, so we can see here we have two witnesses talking about this ancient Babylon, which is Nimrod's Babylon. And let's get one more witness from Jubilees 10, 23 to 25. And Yahuwah descended, and we descended with him to see the city and the tower which the children of men have built. And he confounded their language, and they no longer understood one another's speech, and they ceased then to build the city and the tower. For this reason, the whole land of Shinar, okay, like I said, you want to pay attention to that because it's going to make some sense when I show you ancient Babylon, okay, or what's left of it, because, it became desolate. But we'll get to that a little bit later. The whole land of Shinar is called Babel or Babel, because Yahuwah did there confound all the languages of the children of men, and from thence they were dispersed into their cities, each according to his language and his nation. So obviously, every single nation at the time after the flood, the descendants of Noah, they all spoke one language and one tongue, and that would have to be Abari, because Abari is the tongue of creation. Language and these other languages began when Yahuwah confused the languages of everyone who was an inhabitant of Babel, which was a world empire, a world nation, or a nation that had world power and world authority and world control. So at that moment, other language began to spring when Yahuwah confused the languages so that they could not complete the building of this Tower of Babel, okay? Now, the next Babylon is Nebuchadnezzar's Babylon. This is where the Yahudim were taken into captivity by Nebuchadnezzar. So we have two Babylons here. This is 2 Kings chapter 20, verse 17, or Malachim Shani. Kana Hayum. Behold, the day is come that all things that are in thy house shall be taken, and all that your fathers have treasured up until this day to Babylon. And there shall not fail a word which was spoken. So this is the Most High going to his children and telling them that you will be taken into captivity. Why were they taken into captivity? The Yahudim were taken into captivity because a lot of wicked kings arose after Solomon, and Yahuwah was fed up. Okay, so he said, you know what? Y'all going into captivity. I'm going to bring Nebuchadnezzar against you, and they're going to take everything you have, and they're going to bring you into Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar's Babylon. Malachim Shani, 2 Kings 24, 1 through 2, as well as verse 10. In his days went up Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, and Yahuyakim, or Jehoiakim, became his servant 3 years, and then he turned and revolted from him. And Yahuwah sent against him the bands of the Chaldeans and the bands of Syria and the bands of Moab and the bands of the children of Ammon, and sent them into the land of Yahud, or what they say in the English is Judea. So Yahuwah was so angry, he brought these nations against Yerushalayim and the land of Yahud, or Judea, to take the Yahudim into captivity because he was angry with his children, okay? To prevail against Yahud, or Judea, according to the word of Yahuwah, which he spoke by his servants, the prophets. At this time went up Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, to Yerushalayim, or Jerusalem, and the city was besieged, and Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, came against the city, and his servants besieged it. Okay, so we can see here that this was something that Yasharal, Yahudim brought upon themselves because of the wickedness that was taking place under the order of our own people who were kings who were doing wickedly. Oftentimes we see in scripture that slavery is always a punishment that the Most High brings upon us. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you guys ancient Babylon, okay? Just in case you might be like, there's a Babylon? Of course, well, there's definitely a Babylon, but I'm going to show you where it is, okay? So this is an ancient map of Africa from 1710, okay? So quite some time ago, this map was created. Now, we're going to zoom in and we're going to take a closer look at this map because it reveals to us where ancient Babylon was, family. Okay, so let me just zoom in here and let's look at this map. All right, now we zoomed in right here where you see it says Nubia. Okay, now look right here. That says Sinar. And this right here would be Sudan, okay? The Nubian kingdom, okay? Now notice the pyramids right here. And I'm going to prove that because there's something significant to that as well, okay? So this is the Nubian kingdom that you hear about, you know, in ancient Africa, you know, the Nubian kingdom, the Nubian kings, and so on and so forth. Well, this is what you would call where ancient Babylon was. Now, to prove this further, let's look at this. So I'm going to jump over here to Wikipedia, okay? And we're going to look about this article about Shinar, okay? So we can make it make more sense and put it all together for you here, okay? So let me scroll in, okay? So Shinar in Hebrew, Shanar, okay? And then Romanized Sinar. The Septuagint has it as Sinar, okay? As I showed you in the Septuagint, it's written like this, okay? Sennaar. Now, let's go back to that map again and let's look at it and see if we see a match, okay? Boom. Sinar, okay? This is Babylon. This is where it was. Now, you might be all like, well, yes, sir, I need a little bit more proof than that. I got you. I got you, family. I got you. Now, let's go over here to this article, okay? And look at these pyramids, okay? So this is from the Atlantic, which is a website that kind of covers ancient areas, okay? And we're going to see these images of ancient Sinar, which is in where? Sudan. And look at the pyramids. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to something here. Y'all all know, family, that ancient Egypt was filled with pyramids. And we can agree that the first kingdom after the flood was Babylon, Nimrod's Babylon. Where do you think Egypt got their inspiration to build the second world civilization after the first, which was Nimrod's Babylon? Now, can we agree that Nimrod was a Kushite? Yes, he was. Okay, and I'm going to prove that in a second as well, so you can understand that this was a Nubian Kushite kingdom. Okay, so let's look at some more of these images, family. All right, so you can see dark-skinned people. We know that Nimrod was a Hamite, so we know he was dark. We know he was a black man. Obviously, he was a Hamite. He was not Negro. He was not Shemitic, but he was Hamitic. Okay, so look, you can see this destroyed temple right here, and you can see this looks like an altar. Okay, so there we're seeing the proof of the paganism. Okay, now this article says the forgotten pyramids of Murals. Okay, and I'm going to just read a little bit of the article to you. In a desert in eastern Sudan, along the banks of the Nile River, okay, we know the Nile River is mentioned in the Bible. We know that the Garden of Eden is mentioned near Ethiopia that's surrounded by these rivers, right? Okay. Lies a collection of nearly 200 ancient pyramids, many of them tombs of the kings and queens of the Maurya Kingdom, which ruled the area for more than 900 years. The Murals pyramids, smaller than their Egyptian cousins, are considered Nubian pyramids with narrow bases and steep angles on the sides, built between 2,700 and 2,300 years ago, with decorative elements from the cultures of Pharaonic Egypt, Greece, and Rome. And what do all those nations have in common? Paganism. Paganism. Okay, let's keep going. Though the pyramids are one of the main attractions of Sudan's tourists, the local tourism industry has been devastated by a series of economic sanctions imposed by Western nations. Well, obviously, colonizers. Throughout the course of the country's civil war and the conflict in Darfur, according to reports, Sudan now receives fewer than 15,000 tourists per year compared to past estimates as of many as 150,000. So the Western powers have come into Africa and they have tried to stop people from coming over here to explore this area. You know why? Because it destroys what they're telling you about where Babylon was. They're telling you that, Nimrod set up Babylon in ancient Iraq. That's not the truth. That is not the truth. Okay, so again, the Europeans, they try to control history and they don't want you to understand that the Bible mostly takes place in Africa, as I've said so many times. Okay, so let's just look at some more of these images here. Okay, so we can see desert, we can see wilderness, you can see the camels. All right, you see more of these pyramids, the remnant of what's left of these pyramids. And again, you can see where ancient Egypt, which was the next world empire, got their inspiration to build Mitzrayim, or what you call Egypt in English. Okay, look at these pagan deities right here. Okay, more proof of the paganism, huh? And you've got the altar up here. Okay, more pyramids, and you can see they're destroyed. Okay. It's another image. Oh, look at this. This is like a sacrificial temple right here. Interesting. Interesting. But you don't hear these so-called Bible scholars talking about this stuff, showing you this stuff. I don't want you to know the truth. All right, you can see. Now, this is clearly a Negro here. Okay, but you can see just like they've done, or not a Negro, but a melanated individual, because you can see they've tried to remove the nose and try to hide the Nubian features. Okay, and if you notice this right here, this is that same symbol that's put over Ishtar and these Semiramis's head. Matter of fact, let me show you all that real quick. Ancient Egypt, and let's look at Isis. And you're going to see it's the same symbol that's over her head. The same thing. Okay. So look at this. Okay. Just to prove to you, this is a pagan nation and this is ancient Babylon. You see this right here on top of Isis's head. Okay. Let me see if I can find another one. There it is again. Okay. Boom. Another one right here. Boom. Boom. There's another image. Right here, you can see it very, very clearly. Okay. There's another one right here, Isis. Okay. Now, if we go back to what we just looked at, we see that image very clearly. Look at that right there in your face. Boom. Right over the head of Isis. Okay. So we can tell that this is where it really, really was. Phil Layahu is in the building. What's up, Aki? All praise to the Most High. Good to see you. Hope you're well. All right. So we can see the proof and where Egypt got their inspiration for their deities and the paganism that came from Nimrod's Babylon. All right. Some more images. You can see more pyramids from a far off distance. You can see the desert wilderness here. Another pyramid. Look at this. Another temple. And this looks like where they would do the sacrifices at. Another one. Look at that. Wow. Look at that. You see more of these Hamitic people being depicted right here on these pyramids, or this structure here. There's another view of these pyramids here. Ancient Babylon. More temples leading into a pyramid. And like I said, we are not looking at ancient Egypt. We are looking at ancient Sudan, or what's left of ancient Sudan. Okay, wonderful. So you guys saw that. And I'm going to show you guys some more evidence of this. Okay, so let me switch over here to this next thing. I have a video I want to show you guys about this ancient Sudan. So let me switch over to this one. All right, and we're going to look at this video, a little bit of this video, so we can get more context to this, and we can tie this to the Nubian kingdoms as well as the Kushites, which is what Nimrod was a descendant of. All right, here we go, family. Go ahead and pull this up. All right, full screen this. Let me make sure the sound's on before I start playing it. Y'all know how I get with me sometimes. Okay, here we go. Fair use, YouTube. This is for educational purposes only.
How the pyramids were built. Yeah. I'm willing to accept that the Great Pyramid was largely completed by the ancient Egyptians. But remember that the ancient Egyptians tell us in many of their texts that everything they knew was a legacy. It was all an inheritance of the gods, and I don't construe the gods as aliens.
When we think of pyramids, our minds immediately journey to Egypt. The towering Giza Plateau, with its majestic stone structures, has long captured the world's fascination. But what if we told you that Egypt didn't build the first pyramids?
Egypt didn't build the first pyramids, okay? This is them telling you this, not just Yexer, all right? Babylon was the first world empire, the first nation with total control, authority, dominance, and power. It was Sudan or Babylon that built the Egyptian, or built the pyramids, I should say. I won't say Egypt's pyramids. I'll just say the Babylonian pyramids. Okay, so this is a witness here.
Long before the sands of the Sahara surrounded the grand monuments of the pharaohs, a lesser-known civilization to the south built pyramids that have stood for millennia. Today, these mysterious structures quietly guard their ancient secrets. This is the story of Meroe, an ancient city in the heart of modern-day Sudan, where the first man-made pyramids may have risen and where we begin to unravel a mystery that challenges everything we thought we knew about ancient history. Let us set the scene. We are not in Egypt, but in the vast expanse of the Sudanese desert. Here, nestled in a stark, arid landscape, lie over 200 pyramids, concentrated in a city that once rivaled the grandeur of any ancient Egyptian metropolis. This city is Meroe, the capital of the powerful kingdom of Kush.
The kingdom of Kush. Now, give me a 1 if we can agree that Nimrod was a Kushite. Give me a 1 in the chat if I had literally just shown y'all that in scripture. I just want to make sure we're in agreement, family. Okay? I just want to make sure we're in agreement. Did not the scriptures just say that Nimrod was a Kushite? Thank you. Thank you. True Seeker says, I thought ancient Babylon was present-day Iraq. I told you. I keep telling y'all. They've lied about everything. These Europeans, they've lied about everything. They've lied about everything. Okay? You can't listen to white people because, I mean, no offense, but all they do is lie, especially when it comes to biblical history, because they want to hide the fact that the majority of the Bible takes place in Africa, not Iraq and Iran. And, you know, even when they call it Mesopotamia, okay? That's what you find in your modern day KJV, NLT, NIV, CFIRS, and all these other things. They renamed a lot of these locations to cover this up, okay? To hide this truth. So when it says that Abraham came from the land of Ur, of the Chaldeans, he was in Sudan. That's where he came from. So he was blackety black. I mean, he was a Shemite. He was obviously a Bari. He was Hebrew. But the land of Ur, of the Chaldeans, would be where the Nubians were. You feel what I'm saying? So that's why we do these shows, because we have to destroy these lies of these colonizers, man. If they wouldn't have lied so much, we wouldn't even have to bring this out. But that's why Yahuwah has raised up a remnant of Yasharal that is helping y'all see the real truth with evidence. Where is the proof that it's in modern day Iraq other than they telling you it is? Other than their maps and their lies and their Christian, you know what I'm saying, replacement theology? Because that's all that they about. I mean, them the same people that tell you to pray for Israel and point to the Jewish people. And we know they're not the chosen. We know that they Amalek. So we have to stop looking to what they say as truth, because all they do is lie. All right? All right, let's go back to this. So we just proven that this was the first civilization to build these pyramids, not Egypt, but Sudan. And we also understand that this was a Kushite empire. Because why? Nimrod was a Kushite, son of Ham. Let's keep going.
Civilization that flourished for nearly 1,000 years. But Meroe's legacy is far more than a simple footnote in Egyptian history. It's a place where the lines between myth, architecture, and human achievement blur into one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of antiquity. Our modern awareness of Meroe began in the 19th century, when European explorers ventured into the Sudanese desert. In 1821, they uncovered these stunning pyramids, which had been hidden for centuries beneath the sands. The explorers found a cluster of pyramids, some grand and towering, others smaller and more modest, yet all steeply angled with narrow bases, distinctly different from the broad, sloping forms of Egyptian pyramids. And while Egypt's pyramids were grand tombs for pharaohs, Meroe's served a different purpose. They were built for nobles and royals alike. But when exactly were these pyramids built and why? Archaeologists determined that Meroe's pyramids were constructed between 300 BCE and 350 CE, during a time when the Kingdom of Kush was a powerful force in Africa.
Okay, the Kingdom of Kush was a powerful force in Africa. Why? It was the first world empire after the flood. Okay? So this man is only proving everything the Bible says, whether he knows it or not. Now, of course, they done renamed it and changed it to all these different things, but this man is only validating the scriptures. He's only validating the land of Africa, being where most of the Bible takes place. And as we start to kind of pick up the pieces, Aquila's here. Hey, shalom, beloved. Good to see you. All praises to the Most High. So, where we start to understand this Kingdom of Kush, we start to understand the significance of Africa. We are starting to understand now even what's going on today in Africa, how, these other nations are coming there, fleeing there. They are starting to set themselves up in Africa. Because we're getting closer to the end times. Well, actually, we're not getting closer to the end times. We are in the end times. And the reason why I think a lot of these nations are being drawn there is because Yahuwah says that he's going to draw all the nations to the valley of Yehoshaphat to judge the nations. Also, family, Bible prophecy is fulfilling as we speak. And this is the time where knowledge shall increase. And because knowledge is increasing, we now fully can walk in the truth, because now these things are no longer being able to be hidden from us anymore. All right, let's keep going. But again, there's your next witness talking about that this Kushite kingdom was very powerful and very prominent throughout the whole land of Africa. And that would also include every other nation, because remember, Nimrod's Babylon was a world empire.
This makes Meroe's pyramids younger than Egypt's Old Kingdom pyramids, but their purpose and design remain equally as fascinating. Many scholars theorize that Meroe's architectural style was influenced by earlier structures from the region, potentially dating back even further. Transporting the massive stones used to build these pyramids was no small feat. Some of the stones were quarried from sites over 25 miles away and weighed several tons. How could an ancient...
Okay, so 25 miles away from modern-day Sudan. So that means that these stones all came from Africa, not Iraq, not anywhere else. 25 miles from Sudan, that would still be within this large continent of Africa. Okay, so these are African stones that built these pyramids. Okay.
Ancient civilization, lacking modern tools and technology, achieve such monumental tasks. The logistics of transporting and constructing these structures in an unforgiving desert environment continue to puzzle researchers. To put this in perspective, the Great Pyramid of Giza contains stones weighing up to 80 tons, whereas the largest pyramid at Meroe, the Pyramid of Amenishaketo, used stones weighing between 1 and 2 tons. While
now, 1 and 2 tons. 1 and 2 tons. You think this could have something to do with, I don't know, I mean, possibly Nephilim or something of that nature? I'm just saying. Now, it says that Nimrod was a giant. Now, I ain't saying he was a Nephilim, so to speak. He was a descendant of Cush, who was a descendant of Ham, who was one of Noah's sons. But he was a very, very tall man. And like I said, I think it's likely he might have been from the Dinka tribe. But obviously, he had great strength, and the men that helped build Babylon had great strength. But it says that Nimrod built it. So I'm just wondering if there could be more to this that we have to understand about Nimrod. Okay.
Later, these stones were no less challenging to transport, raising questions about how these ancient builders accomplished such feats. What's more intriguing is that Meroe's pyramids were built in a different context than those of Egypt. While Egyptian pyramids served as grand burial tombs for kings and pharaohs, the pyramids at Meroe were constructed for a broader group of nobles, queens, and princes. But why did the people of Meroe embrace pyramid building at all? Inside the tombs of Meroe, archaeologists found a remarkable fusion of Egyptian and African symbolism. Hieroglyphics and carvings covered the walls, but the faces depicted were distinctly African, signifying a culture that blended Egyptian influences with its own deep...
Okay, so he said that the depictions of these individuals were African people, Hamites, Kushites, Nubians. Okay, so again, if we're going to talk about ancient Egypt, we have to factor in that the people who built Babylon were melanated, dark-skinned Hamitic people, and this civilization that came after Babylon, which was Egypt, was modeled after Babylon. Those same people who are also descendants of Ham would also be dark-skinned. So we need to throw out this whole, well, there's white people in Egypt. There's always been, no, there isn't. Okay, just like they came to Sudan and started colonizing and, you know, setting up borders and not allowing people to come check out certain areas, so did the Europeans, okay, with ancient Egypt. That's why they don't cut off the noses. That's why they don't want you to realize that these were Nubian Hamitic people. And again, if we're going to talk about Yasharal dwelling amongst these Nubians, okay, Paul mistaken for an Egyptian, Joseph ruling over Egyptians, Moses not even being recognized by the Pharaoh of Egypt as one of those Abari or Hebrew children that his mother sent him in a basket in the Nile to escape, that the Pharaoh gave a decree to slay all the Hebrew boys, okay, the little Hebrew infants. Clearly, we are talking about dark-skinned, melanated people, okay, period. You got to look at ancient history and not what they're telling you, because they work to cover this up. But yes, they're going to bring it out today. All praises to the Most High.
Deep-rooted identity. Meroe wasn't merely a reflection of Egypt, it was a civilization that commanded power and respect in its own right. Stretching over 600 miles along the Nile, the kingdom of Kush became a dominant force in...
Hold on, let me shout this person out. Yah's child, Yatona, said $9.99 super sticker. Thank you so much, beloved sister. I've been seeing you come into the streams. I think she's one of our newest subscribers. So family, please show her some love. Thank you, sis, so much for the $9.99. I really, really appreciate you, beloved.
Trade and culture across Northeast Africa.
Right. So I guess we can stop there. Okay. I feel like I've kind of proven it. Now, the next thing I want to show you guys is, let's go back over here to Wikipedia, and we can also, I'll show you the land of Sudan and how they still have an area over there called Sennar. Take a look. Now, obviously, it's under a lot of Muslim control because, you know, the Arabs came there and colonized too. Okay. So this is Sennar. And where is it located? Let's keep reading. Sennar. Now, you see the Arabic writing, okay? Because like I said, they done came there and did that too. Is a city on the Blue Nile in Sudan, okay? And possibly the capital of the state of Sennar. For several centuries, it was the capital of the Fungi kingdom of what? Sennar family. And at least until 2011, Sennar was the capital of Sennar state. And we looked at the same word that we found in the Septuagint, and also when we looked at the map from 1710. Okay, all praises to the Most High, man. Yeah, Mary and Joseph went into Egypt to escape Herod, right? Exactly, sis. Yahusha was with them. And why did baby Yahusha and his family flee into Egypt? Because Herod wanted to unalive Yahusha, right? And so what did they go there for? To hide amongst dark-skinned Hamitic people. You can't hide no white baby JC in no dark-skinned, predominantly black ancient Egypt. It just doesn't make any sense, okay? It really honestly does not, all right? So precept upon precept, line up on line. Okay, that's how we move. All right, so we can see here that this land of Sinar, or this town and city in Sinar, is in Sudan. Okay, Sudan. Okay, you can see the flag right here. We see this is in Africa. Okay, so all praises to the Most High. I just wanted to show you ancient Babylon. You now know where it is. Okay, all right, so let's keep going. Now that we've kind of understood that a little bit, we're going to jump ahead and we're going to look at some more information that I have here for you, aside from the whole Sudan thing, because we're going to just move forward now. All right. Now, getting back to America, a lot of people don't understand that America is a pagan nation. Okay, I know they like to say Christian. If you want to say it's Christian, then you agree that it's pagan, because Christianity itself is paganism, considering the fact that it came from Rome. All right, but I'm going to just show you the proof of this. Okay, so we're going to jump over here to this article, which is in Wikipedia. Okay, and we're going to just look at modern paganism in the United States, because why? It's another Babylon. Modern paganism in the United States is represented by widely different movements and organizations. The largest modern pagan, also known as neo-pagan, religious movement is Wicca, witchcraft, sorcery, okay? Followed by neo-druidism, okay? And I talked about druids, okay? Druids are these individuals in these cloaks. Let me make this smaller so y'all can see what I'm talking about, okay? So druidism. Okay, so like when you think about like the royal families and you think about, you know, a lot of these Illuminati people and stuff like that, you see they wear these hoods and stuff like that. And if you've seen my Esau and the Horites documentary, we also talked about how the Druids were also part of this fallen bloodline, which you found with the Basque people and, you know, the RH negative bloodline, and how these pagan nations who were descendants of the Nephilim, they were also Druids. Okay, so they do those rituals. When you think about, you know, Bohemian Grove, where they're all wearing hoods and they're worshiping a large owl, which is based in the likeness of Molech, okay, which is found in California, okay? So the paganism of the United States is not really hidden. You just have to be able to understand the history and what goes on in America to understand that this is paganism, okay? So let's keep going. Wicca, followed by Neo-Druidism. Both of these religions or spiritual paths were introduced during the 1950s and 1960s from where? Great Britain. And Germanic neo-paganism, okay? So Germans were pagan. Europeans were pagan. The Hamites were pagan. Everybody was pagan except Shem, specifically Yasharal, because Yasharal is who Yahuwah made a covenant with. Now, when Yasharal left Egypt, they had been watered down with paganism, which is why he gave us Torah, so that we would break out of the paganism and worship the Eluah of Yasharal. This is also known as heathenry, okay? Heathenry and Cometicism, which you are seeing a rise in America amongst Negro people who don't know who they are, who are embracing this paganism of Cometicism in ancient Egypt, which Yahuwah told you not to do, okay? And heathenry and Cometicism appeared in the U.S. in the early 1970s. Hellenic neo-paganism appeared in the 1990s. Paganism first arose in the United Kingdom with individuals like Charles Cardell, Gerald Gardner, popularizing their nature-based beliefs, okay? So when we think about paganism, we think about Ishtar, we think about rabbits, we think about eggs, okay? Just like with pagan Easter, okay? Also tied to this nature thing, okay? That's why you see the rabbits and you see, you know, the ducks and all this other stuff, the eggs and all of that. The spread of neo-paganism in the United States started in the 1960s with the introduction of neo-Druidism or Druidry. Okay, again, you can see these people near Stonehenge. We talked about Stonehenge, how Stonehenge was essentially a place where they would do these pagan rituals. Okay, and Wicca from Great Britain in the 1960s to the 1970s, multiple variations of the craft with a more centered structure began sprouting up within the U.S. Neo-Druidism had begun in 1912 in the United States, but was more of a fraternal order at the time. Okay, a fraternal order. Okay, Freemasonry. All right, we know who founded this nation were Freemasons, George Washington, all of them, and we're going to get to them too. We're going to talk about all the statues and the images and idols of this land, because the scriptures say that Babylon, mystery Babylon, is filled with idols. Okay, and I'm going to get to all of that too. But we know that Freemasons founded this country. Okay, So we understand why the fraternal order is being mentioned right here with the United States. All right. Germanic neo-paganism or heathenism entered during the 1970s, developed into new denominators proper to the U.S., notably theodism. In the same period, first Kemetic groups were formed, with the tradition itself originating in the U.S. Interesting, originated in the U.S. Okay. It says, Wicca, introduced by Gerald Gardner in 1954, is the best known of the neo-pagan movements. Charles Cardell, Gerald Gardner's rival during the 1950s pagan witchcraft movement in England, actually coined the term Wiccans, referring to pagan witches. Men were not the only founders of pagan beliefs. Feminist-based practices were on the rise during the 1960s and 1970s. The pagan organization WITCH, an acronym for Women's International Terrorist Conspiracy from Hell. Like what? Family, do y'all see this? What under the dome is going on here? And people talk about, oh, America's a Christian nation. Oh, we love Jesus. But I mean, y'all don't know the history. Okay? Let me read that to you again. The pagan organization WITCH, an acronym for Women's International Terrorist Conspiracy from Hell. Wow. Oh, my. Let's keep reading. Was formed in the 1960s. Another instance of such practices was Dianic witchcraft. Now, Diana is obviously a deity of the Greco-Roman Empire. Okay, so we understand that this is incorporating these different pagan nations into America, okay, which made America what it is now. All of these individuals that came together to incorporate these pagan beliefs go all the way back to the ancient Babylons, as well as Rome, as well as Greece, and all of these other pagan nations, okay? Mothered by Zuzana Budapest, who published a 1979 piece titled The Holy Book of Women's Mysteries. What? And this right here is your goddess worship stuff, Semiramis worship and things of that nature. The 1980s and 1990s saw the emergence of a number of reconstructionists. Look at this. Oh my gosh. And other ethnic traditions, Hellenic neo-paganism, okay? Dodonocothism, for example, has flourished since the 1990s, along with parallel developments in Greece, okay? Hellenism was soon legally recognized as a known religion in 2017 within Greece, then granted it more religious freedoms, such as the freedom to open houses of worship and the freedom for clergy to officiate weddings. Oh, my. Wow. Ooh, eye-opening. Now, I'm just a little bit more curious about this thing right here. So we're going to just take a quick little peek at this witch organization because I'm just a little bit more curious about this. Feminist group. Okay, I'm glad we're looking at this because I want y'all to understand where feminism comes from. Paganism, witchcraft, which is why it has such a strong hold on the Negro community. And I'm praying for the daughters of Zion, they'll come out of this feminist stuff because it is wicked. All right? Witch. Now, we already looked at what it means, but let's read it. It says, was the name of several related but independent feminist groups, okay, active in the United States as part of the women's liberation movement. So these white liberal women that told black women, oh, you need to liberate yourself from, the man, and, you don't need the man, and the man is toxic, and, toxic masculinity and all this stuff. And this is where, you get the ideas of a lot of the Democrat Party and things of that nature. All right. During the late 1960s, the witch moniker was sometimes alternately expanded as women inspired to tell their collective history, or women interested in toppling consumer holidays among many variations. The first witch group was established in New York City in October 1968. Its founders were socialist feminists, there you go, who had formerly been members of the New York Radical Women's Group. They oppose the idea advocated by radical feminists that feminist women should campaign against patriarchy alone. Instead, which advocated for feminists to ally with a range of left-wing causes, okay, the Democrat Party, all right, to bring about wider social changes in the United States. Various scholars have suggested that embracing the iconography of the witch and with the witch trials in the early modern period, WITCH represented forerunners of various forms of feminist-oriented modern paganism, such as Dianic Wicca, Okay? Wow. So you can see where feminism came from, family. And I think I will probably do a deeper study on feminism and the danger of feminism. At some point, I promise you I will. Understanding witchcraft. In their leaflets, Witch adopted the witch cult hypothesis by claiming that those persecuted as alleged witches in European history have had members of surviving pre-Christian pagan religion, with the Christian authorities then sought to suppress. In their manifesto, Witch propagated the erroneous claim that 9 million women have been burned to death during the witch trials in the early modern period. This claim had originated within the first wave feminist Matilda Jocelyn Gage, which declared that any woman could become a witch by declaring herself to be one, and that moreover, any group of women could form a witches' coven. In one of their leaflets, it is stated that if you are a woman and you dare to look within yourself, you are a witch. You make your own rules. You are free and beautiful. Oh, that's definitely feminism. You can be invisible or evident in how you choose to make your witch self known. You can form your own coven of sister witches. 13 is a cozy number for a group. And do your own actions. You are a witch by saying out loud, I am a witch 3 times and thinking about that. You are a witch by being female, untamed, angry, joyous, and immortal. Wow, feminism, family, untamed, angry. All right? And this is what you see with feminism. All right? Just angry. I hate men. Men are toxic. We don't need men. I don't want a man. I can do without a man. A man is nothing. A man doesn't do anything but treat women like trash. Which there is some men out there like that, I can agree, especially amongst our people, all right? Some of these Israelite men who are very wicked, who are very disrespectful, who do not love the daughters of Zion as we are commanded to, by the way, okay? So I can agree in some instances that is true, but I don't think you should make a broad generalization and paint every man the same. I think that's extremely unfair. Just like I can't say that every daughter of Zion embraces this ideology, because that's not true. All right? But this is the witchcraft that has been put up on you by Babylon when you subscribe to this politics stuff. And by the way, Kamala Harris is a perfect example of what this is. Okay? All right, family. We'll keep it going. I don't want to dwell too much on this because I don't think it's really relevant to what we're talking about, but I'm glad that you guys see this. You know what I'm saying? Just so you can understand this feminist movement and how it's working against the daughters of Zion. Because listen, a woman can say, I don't need a man, but when the crap hits the fan, you're going to need some protection. And Yahuwah gave you the Yahudi male to protect you. All right. As far as protectors, I mean, any black woman in here will tell you that when it comes to protection, if there's a man that can protect you, it is definitely the Yahudi black man. All right. For real. Let's keep going. All right, family. Now, the next thing I'm going to show you guys is some of these idols in Babylon. Actually, I'm going to show you these first, and we're going to get to the scriptures. Okay. So, now, we're going to look at the scripture that talks about how Babylon is a land of idols, but I just want to show you all these deities that they got all throughout this crusty country. So a list of the tallest statues in the United States. And we are also going to look at all these statues of these slave owners. We're going to look at that too, which ties to why America will be destroyed completely. And we're going to get to the scriptures in a minute, but I just want to, preface this here for you. Okay. So this is Wikipedia, and we're going to look at some of these statues in the United States. Okay. So statues over 12.2 meters, which is 40 feet. Okay. Obviously, you got the pagan Statue of Liberty. Okay. Which is really Lucifer, as we talked about in the last episode. Okay, the light of Lucifer. That's why that holds that right there. Whenever you look at, movies and you see Paramount and you see the woman that's holding the torch in her hand, that represents the light of Lucifer. That represents this satanic ideology. All right, let's keep going. You've got this statue of Pegasus and the dragon. Look at this. Hey, I thought America ain't pagan, but you got Pegasus right here. Okay, and that's why I tell you Jesus Christ is pagan. I mean, you think about all these deities of the Greco-Roman Empire with the S-U-S or the U-S at the end. You got Dionysus, you got Cerberus, you got Zeus, you got Pegasus, okay? You've got Prometheus, Jesus, pagan. It's all pagan. The Messiah's name is Yahusha, not Jesus. People say, well, I believe in the Messiah. If you call on Jesus, you do not believe in the biblical Messiah. You believe in Rome's Messiah, the false Messiah that Yahushua warned you about would come in his own name. Yehukanan, John chapter 5, verse 43. That's Jesus. Okay? So we see Pegasus. We see a dragon right here. And this is in Florida. Okay? Let's keep going. I don't know what the heck this is. The Golden Driller? What the heck? Like, what is this? It would be Paul Bunyan. It's a golden image. A golden image, 76 feet tall. Remember Nebuchadnezzar commissioned the children of Yahudah to worship the golden image of Nebuchadnezzar in ancient Babylon? Yeah. You see that? Tulsa, Oklahoma. Let's keep going. Okay, this one has a dinosaur here. Okay. Let's see. What else we got here? Oh, look. The Christ of the Ozarks. Look at that. JC. Right in your face. With his arms outstretched to symbolize the pagan cross of Tammuz. Now, we know Yahushua HaMashiach was hung from a tree, but not a pagan cross. But you can see this reinforces that pagan symbolism of the cross, which is also found in ancient Egypt. If you look at the Ankh, that is another form of the cross. And by the way, for those who don't know about the cross was actually given in a vision to Constantine, which is why he put the cross on the shields when they were conquering these nations with this pagan religion of Christianity, right? He saw this vision and he said that so-called God showed him this vision of this cross, and he was used this symbol to conquer many nations, which is why many of the Yahudim in Spain and Portugal were literally burned alive because they would not embrace Christianity or bow to the cross. Okay, so you can see the pagan image of JC right here, JC of the Ozarks, all right? And this is in Arkansas. Let's keep going. Lucy the elephant. Now, I'm thinking that this might possibly tie to Eastern mysticism, because, you know, they have deities that have like the elephant head and the male body and all these other things. So this could possibly be that. I'm not going to say for sure, but I do think that that's interesting. Okay, let's keep going. What else we got here? Okay, what is this? A Vulcan? Is that a thunderbolt in his hand? That's what it looked like. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, I can't see the. I'm trying to see if I can see the thunderbolt, but I'm not quite sure. But this is a 56-foot. Yep. The Roman God Vulcan. God of the fire and forged with iron working equipment. So this is a Roman deity right here. Okay, a Roman deity being depicted, and this one is in the South, Birmingham, Alabama. All right, let's keep going. Erected in 1904. Let's keep going. Oh, look at this. The Hawatha. Okay, another deity, but this is a, hold on, let me see if I can get a better image of it, because this one isn't popping up. Here we go. This right here. Okay, now I know y'all like to say, some people like to say that, you know, Negroes are Native Americans, but this right here has no ties to Torah. Ain't no, Yahweh ain't told us to put up no idols or nothing. Okay, so just understand, this is the stuff that they do. Why? Because they heathens. Okay, period. So you got that right there. All right, let's jump back over here. The Jolly Green Giant family. Okay, the Jolly Green Giant. And you know that this could obviously represent the Nephilim. Okay, how tall is this? Let's see, 55 feet tall family. Okay, so the Jolly Green Giant in plain sight. They call them jolly, as if the Nephilim were wicked, evil, eating flesh, drinking blood, mixing animal DNA with human DNA, and mixing animal DNA with other animal DNA. Oh boy. All right, let's keep going. So the Jolly Green Giant, you've got Paul Bunyan right here with the ox, which is Baal, by the way. I mean, you ever wonder why they told you this story about Paul Bunyan? Okay, look at that. Baal in plain sight. In plain sight. And this would obviously represent a Nephilim right here. Look at that hairy chest. Look at that hamburger meat. Look at that taco meat, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm just playing, but you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, woo, boy. I'm just saying, man. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. All right, so you see that this image here of the ox that is often depicted in folklore along Paul Bunyan. We've got the Nephilim right here, and you've got Baal right here. And we oftentimes see Baal depicted as an ox or a horned deity, which goes back to Pan, which goes back to the Nephilim, which goes back to the Horites, which goes back to the Satyr, okay, which means hairy goat. And I told you guys about how if you look at the word Shire, it translates to hairy goat. This is where you get the Baphomet. This is where you get all this goat symbolism. You know, people over here calling themselves, I'm the goat, I'm the goat, I'm the greatest of all time, not realizing that you're referencing yourself as Satan. Moloch also had horns, okay? So when you see the devil depicted with horns, there is a sense of truth to that, because all of these horn deities represent Hashatan, okay? All right, let's keep going. All right, so Paul Bunyan and Baal, okay? And we got another one right here, the Eternal Indian. And this is in Oregon. Let's look at this one, get a bigger, better image of it. Okay, look at this. Another Native American monument being put up. Okay. Let's keep going. Harry Wheeler. I have no idea who this is. It's supposed to be Woody from Toys R what's that movie? Toy Story? Cowboy? Oh, look at this. Atlas, another deity. It says Atlas is a bronze statue in Rockefeller Center within the International Buildings Courtyard in Midtown Manhattan in New York City. It is across Fifth Avenue from St. Patrick's Cathedral. The sculpture depicts the ancient Greek Titan Atlas holding the heavens on his shoulders. Blasphemy. Look at this. Paganism, another Greek deity, right in your face. What's this? Rocket thrower? I don't know what this is, but this definitely looks like another one of these Greek deities. This one's in Queens, and it was erected in 1964. Okay. Then we got Athena. Okay, another deity, all right, of the Greco-Roman Empire. The statue of Athena Parthenos was a monumental Chrysophilitine sculpture of the goddess Athena, attributed to Phidias and dated to the mid-5th century BCE. It was an offering from the city of Athens to Athena, its tutelary deity, the nails of Parthenion on the Acropolis. All right, so you got another deity right here. Okay, the divine feminine. All right, let's look at some more of these. The big Indian chief. All right, there's another one for you. Look at this. Boom, right in your face. Wow. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see. The vision of peace, the Indian deity of peace. Okay, let's look at this. The vision of peace is a statue in a 3-story memorial concourse lobby along the 4th Street entrance of the St. Paul City Hall and Ramsey County Courthouse in St. Paul, Minnesota. Okay, so this is the deity of the Indians, okay, or the Native Americans. All right, and you can see this is against Torah, because Yahuwah said not to make no likeness or no image of him. All right, bow to it, to sculpt it. When he says no graven images, what that means is images that you would build. So whether you're engraving an image, you are carving it from wood, you are engraving it in stone. This is against Torah. So again, explain to me how these are Israelites. Let's keep going. Image of William Penn. I have no idea who this guy is. I think he was a slave owner, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. National Monument of the Forefathers. And we're going to talk about these because the forefathers were obviously slave owners, and we're going to get to that a little bit later on. All right, here's another one of Paul Bunyan. Okay. Michelangelo, David, inspired by Michelangelo. This is obviously Grecian art. Oh, man, I don't even want to look at it because it's showing his ding-dong. I don't want to see that, bro. I'm good. We'll just keep going. But you can see it's depicted as gold. The golden image, 700 West Main Street in Louisville, Kentucky. Boy. Abraham Lincoln, up, taming Pegasus. We got another image of Pegasus, another deity right here in your face. Lady Kindness, another deity of the heathens. Let me see if I can get a better image of this one. Give me a second. Let's jump on over here. Lady Kindness, look at that, another deity. Okay, let me close these other tabs so I don't jumping back and forth here. All right, we looked at that one. Herman Heights. It says, as a statue erected in New Ulm, Minnesota, United States, the statue depicts Arminius, an ancient Carusian. Okay, I'm not sure who that is. The Dancing Hog. I don't even want to look at that. Civic Fan. Let's look at this one. See what this is. Please hit the like button if you haven't already, family. Look, another deity. Another so-called goddess being depicted here. Johnny Call. I have no idea who this is. Paul Bunyan, another Nephilim. Blue eyes, blonde hair. Yeah. Oh, another deity right here. Look at this one. It's kind of creepy. Let's see. Fountain of Time. I don't know what this is. The goddess of victory and peace. Another deity. Let's look at this one. Oh, look at that. A winged deity. Wow. Columbia. I think that's another deity too, if I'm not mistaken. Let's look at this one. Yup. Another deity right here, family. And I'm showing you all this because it's gonna make some sense when we're proving what the scriptures say about Babylon. All right, so we have here the Statue of Freedom, which looks like another deity, obviously. The Virgin Mary, huh? Not surprised, y'all. I knew that was going to come sooner or later. And guess what it is? Gold! Just like Nimrod. Thank you so much, y'all, Hootie Boo. Yes, please, please, please hit the like button, family. I feel like this is proving some things. We got to pull our people out of this, out of Babylon and all this stuff that they've attached to. Thomas Jefferson, another slave owner. Jesus as a teacher. Oh, I got to see this one. Pagan JC. That's JC right there. And you can see the Pope right there. Oh, my. All right, let's keep going. Another one of Paul Bunyan. They can't get enough of him. All right, these are all just a bunch of slave owners, it looks like. It's another deity right here. Yep, another deity of gold with the eagle symbolism representing Esau. Diana, another Grecian deity with a bow and arrow. Diana, also known as the Diana of the Tower, is an iconic statue of sculptor Augustus St. Gaudens, representing the goddess Diana. Another one. The Spirit of the Commonwealth, another deity of gold. George Washington, another slave owner. Okay, all right, well, we've proven that. Now, there's another one that I didn't see that I want to show you guys. How many of you guys have heard about the Denver airport? Give me a one if you've heard about the conspiratorial side of the Denver airport. I want to show you this other thing here. When I looked into this, it was absolutely mind-blowing. Give me one if you've heard of the of some of the conspiratorial stuff about the Denver airport. Give me a 2 if you haven't heard of it. Okay. Jeannie's here. Hey, sis, good to see you. All praises. Abiyahu's heard of it. Tasha has heard of it. Kathy hasn't. Jeannie has. Jania has. Tanya hasn't. Let's see. Bino's heard of it. Patricia hasn't. Jinjin hasn't. Tracy hasn't. Amiya Yakiyada's heard of it. Yummy hasn't. Okay, cool. Well, I'm kind of glad. I always appreciate it when people don't know these things, because it's always a good moment for edification and learning on this channel. So it's always good when I see it's not all ones, because then it's a good moment for me to kind of show you some stuff. So Denver Airport is so much more deeper than I can probably explain in one video. But let me show you this, family. So this is a horse that is depicted at the Denver, Colorado International Airport. And guess what the horse is called? Blucifer. I kid you not, it's called Blucifer. And it looks like an apocalyptic horse. And why do they have this at the Denver airport? I wonder. It looks extremely demonic. Now, what I find really interesting about this, though, is the man who made this image, okay? When he was making it, it ended up killing him. One of the pieces of the statue fell down and crushed this man. Okay? Matter of fact, you know what, real quick, family, I'm going to just show you a little video about this so you can get a little bit more understanding on this. Because, you know, we could talk a little bit more about this, but since it goes in hand, like a zombie horse, that's what I was thinking when I first saw it. I was like, that's a demon horse for real. And it kind of reminds you of, like, maybe not in the same vein, but like the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. So let me show you all this video real quick. I'm going to just show you this video from this YouTuber. He talked a little bit more about the Denver airport because he's from Denver, Colorado. And he talked in depth about this. So we're not going to watch the whole thing, but just in case you're wondering why would they have that there, I'm going to show you. Give me 1 second. Yeah. They have like a whole bunch of like Illuminati symbolism in that airport. It's insane. It's insane what's over there. It is really, really insane. It's like they got to a point now where they just don't care about hiding stuff. They just do it in your face. But because they have made, you know, the word conspiracy theory kind of like a trigger word where people immediately dismiss it, you know what I'm saying? They can kind of throw this stuff in your face and people just laugh and be like, oh, you're a conspiracy theorist. Oh, you're watching Alex Jones. Ha, 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 you're funny. You believe this is true. They're making fun of you. You know, of course, people, the sheep, not the sheep of Yasharal, but the blind, right? They laugh at it and it kind of make fun of it like it's a joke, but they don't understand that this is really the truth in plain sight. So let me see if I can find a video. I know he had it on his channel here. I just want to show you guys this this Denver airport breakdown, a little bit of the Denver airport breakdown so you can understand what they're showing you to your face. I mean, they even have something talking about the Masonic order right there in the airport. Now, I don't know if it's still there. They might have moved some stuff around because people are waking up and calling things out, and they probably didn't want you to know this, but let me see if I can find it here. Let me go on his channel. Okay. Let's see. Found it. All praises to Yahuwah. All right. We're going to watch this, family. Here we go. Just in case you need more proof, America's Babylon. All right, here we go. Come on. Let me refresh. Up, there it goes. Another ad. Sounds on.
Welcome to ODD TV, where sci-fi and fantasy merge with reality.
Hey everybody, what's going on? Hope all is well. This is ODD, and I want to put a spotlight on Colorado because I live in Colorado, and some of my observations lead me to believe that it may very well be the New World Order headquarters. Now, this is all speculation, of course, but I feel that it's justified. So let's get started. Right off the bat on the state seal, we see the all-seeing eye at the top. We know what that means. We don't have to say too much about that, but let me point out something very interesting. On the bottom of the seal, we see that Colorado was established in 1876. That's exactly 100 years from the time that Adam Weishaupt founded the Order of the Illuminati in 1776. Now, here's the kicker. 1776 is also the year that the design for the Great Seal of the United States with the all-seeing eye on it was submitted by a man named Pierre Eugene du Cimetière. So basically, the Order of the Illuminati...
Okay, now, before I continue, let's connect some dots here, family. America gained its independence in 1776. This was the same year the Order of the Illuminati secret society was formed by Adam Weishaupt, okay? And then the Great Seal with the all-seeing eye, which says Novus Ordo Seclorum, which means New World Order of the Ages, okay, was created a year after, or the same year, I'm sorry, Salaki, the same year, 1776. And America was gained its independence in 1776, okay? Freemasons run this country. It's right in your face. But again, these patriots, these Trump supporters, these MAGA, okay? They ignore all of this, all right? And again, there's your pyramid symbolism, okay? Just want to connect the dots for you. Here we go.
Illuminati and the Great Seal were both created in 1776, both which use the all-seeing eye, and 100 years later, Colorado was established also using the eye on its official seal, and to this day, it's the only state to do so.
Check this out.
Oh,
I'm going to show you how I afforded this car.
Y'all. YouTube is almost becoming unbearable.
118.
Okay, there we go.
Underneath the eye is a bundle of sticks with an axe sticking out. This is known as the fascio, and it basically means totalitarianism or authoritarianism. Fascio equals fascism.
Also, on the fascio
is what appears to be XIX, which in the official explanation just says they are ribbons. So lots of interpretations can be made there. One that I consider is double X or double cross Saturn symbolism, because the seal of Saturn is 2 X's. And what's crazy is that it easily converts into the Freemasonic square and compass, and even what's known as the Star of David, but also has many other names, such as the Star of Remphan, as I like to call it.
Right.
But this makes sense when you understand that the elite do in fact worship Saturn, which is the god of 1,000 names. Another interesting aspect is the heavy use of blue and red on the Colorado seal. A lot of researchers attribute the 2 colors to Saturn, but an easy way to look at it is the dualistic nature of our world and society. Red and blue is Republicans and Democrats. Coke and Pepsi, the illusion of choice. Anyway, the shield with mountains, a pickaxe, and a hammer. I'm not really sure what to make of it, but I'll take a stab at it. The pickaxe and the hammer could represent the designers and builders of Freemasonry, known as the architects. The shield itself definitely symbolism of sorts, being that they are used for many logos, including Warner Brothers and the NFL. But what really comes to mind is the Rothschild family, whose name translates to Red Shield. The Rothschilds are one of the most wealthiest families on earth, and if you look at the top of the shield here, it's red. Not too certain, but just food for thought. Last but not least, towards the bottom of the seal is the Latin phrase nil sine numine, which translates to nothing without the deity, and we all know which deity they are talking about, the god of this world, according to the Bible.
All right, let's get to the airport, y'all.
Now we're going to move on to the Denver International Airport, DIA. This airport is the largest in America and one of the biggest in the world. Here's an aerial view of the land, and just this little part right here is the main building that travelers go through. Let's check it out on Google Earth to get a better perspective. So now we are right above the land, and I'll show you around a little. This is what I'm talking about. Just this right here is where you go to get in. This is the funky roof that we see in pictures. Surrounding the white building are parking garages, and then outdoor parking on both sides as well. It's just huge. And after you get in, go through security, you go down underground to get on a train, at which point you're taken to one of the 3 concourses, which are these buildings here. Down here is where you enter from Pena Boulevard, and this is also where you find the demonic-looking blue Mustang. The creator of the statue, Luis Jimenez, was killed when a section of it fell on him at his studio. So yeah, really big place with lots of land, and it's reported that the project went $2 billion over budget, making it easy to understand that there really is much more to this airport than the public gets to see. I fully believe that it's a deep underground military base, and it's also multi-purpose. It can serve as anything from a FEMA-type concentration camp to a fallout refuge for the financial elite ruling class. So now we will make our way inside, where we'll be greeted by spooky gargoyles in suitcases. What's up, spooky gargoyles in suitcases?
I want to eat your soul.
Oh snap, let's go look at the murals. So I'm sure most of you are familiar with this, as it's been a very popular conspiracy.
All right, family. Now, I don't know. Keep in mind that this video he did on this was from years ago. He ain't even on YouTube no more. He don't even make videos no more. And he's one of the truthers, you know, because like I said, I kind of came into the biblical understanding of Yahuwah a lot later in 2019. But I have been a conspiracy theorist for a long time. So I believed in the New World Order. I believed in the Mark of the Beast. I believed in Flat Earth. And this is one of those individuals that was helping me substantiate my belief in the Bible even more before I came into who I was as Yasharal. Okay. But I'm just saying that to say that I don't know if these murals are still there now in present day pagan 2024. Okay. I don't know, but they were there. Okay. So he's going to just explain. But when you look at this, he's going to take you through these. But this looks like a plan for the New World Order. Destruction, chaos, you know, all of these things, right? Then the phoenix rising from the ashes and bringing all the nations together for this beast system, okay? And that's what I believe that these depict. But he's going to explain a little bit more in depth to you in this video, okay? I just want to preface that for you because these may not be here anymore. I don't know if they are or if they're not, but just keep that in mind. Okay.
Conspiracy for years now. So I'll breeze through the rest of this segment. We have the 4 murals, and they go in this order. Hardcore military oppression, police state, total destruction, and the death of race and religion, coming together for a new world order, and finally living in peace and harmony under a one world government and one world religion. A large portion of DIA is called the Great Hall and is named after a room found in Freemason lodges. Within the Great Hall is a Freemasonic capstone with the time capsule underneath, not to be opened until 2094. Take note that towards the bottom it says New World Airport Commission. The weird thing is that there is no record of this commission's existence. This whole place is a Freemasonic shrine, and there's even a statue of an astronaut, Jack Swigert, at Concourse B, constantly reinforcing the hoax that is space travel. Let's head over to Amerikkka2050.org, and we could look at the future mega regions or mega cities, just like Mega City 1.
Okay, so when you think about the 15-minute cities, that's what this is talking about. Okay, let me fast forward though, because I don't want to get too deep into that. Okay, I noticed he didn't talk too much about the murals. So I'm going to just show you them, and we're going to go through them real quick. So murals of Denver Airport. I thought he was going to talk a little bit more about them, but he didn't. Okay, so let's look at these different murals here, and I'm going to give you my understanding of what I think about them, because I think they tell you a very, very, very strong story about what is to come on America and this world and everything else. So let me just pull them up here, and I'm going to show you what I feel about them. Okay. So let me switch on over here to this tab. We're going to go, this is the Denver International Airport website, okay? So one of the first, let's see, is there more images of it though? Because I want to see, I want to go through all of them. View photo gallery. Okay, wonderful. So I could just show you these things here, And we're going to go through these little murals here so we can kind of get an understanding. What, did they move it? Oh, wow. I think they did move it. Yeah, they did, y'all. They removed it from their website. Too many people are waking up. All right, hold on. Now, there's another image in here of a, yeah, they are definitely hiding this truth. I'm trying to look for other sources of it, and I'm not finding it. Okay, so let's start with this one. Okay, so if you look at this, right, you see this, like, I don't know, New World Order agent. You see people dying, you see death, you see destruction, and you see this man, or like this New World Order general or whatever, striking the dove. Now we know that the dove in biblical sense represents the ruach, right? But it also represents peace. Okay, so the dove with the olive branch represents the ruach of Yahuwah, but is also a symbol of peace. So the fact that the dove is being struck with this sword represents peace being taken from the earth, okay? Which we think of in Scripture with one of the four horsemen of the apocalypse, that peace shall be taken from the earth. There shall be war, there shall be calamity, there shall be all these things. So that's what this is depicting. You see the woman grieving, you see the dead child. I mean, look, they're telling you what they want and what their plans are, you know, as far as the world and what we're going to see going into the tribulation. So this is the first image right here that I thought was very, very interesting. All right. So that's the first image. Okay. It says on the left side of the murals, a mother holding a dead baby with hundreds of other mothers lined up doing the same. In the right lower corner, you can barely see in the photo a piece of paper containing an actual poem written by a 14-year-old who died in a concentration camp. Interesting. The letter is a chilling reminder of events that happened less than hundreds of years ago. So we know Ashkenazi was behind this because they always got to remind you of their so-called events. Oh, please feel bad for me. Please feel bad for me. So I'm going to read you what this paper says. I was once a little child who longed for other worlds, but I am no more a child, for I have known fear. I've learned to hate. How tragic then is youth, which lives with enemies, with gallows ropes, yet I still believe I only sleep today, that I'll wake up a child again and start to laugh and play. Okay. Now look at this next one here. Okay. After the destruction, after all of the chaos, what do you get? The evil generals destroyed, and the New World Order emerges, and you see peace, 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 peace in all these different languages. And y'all know that the Bible says that when they shall say peace and safety, sudden destruction shall come. And we know that the scriptures also say that this anti-Messiah will come promising a false peace, not a real peace. See, they want you to think that the destruction that's coming, this man is going to break it away. He going to destroy, you know, this chaos in the world, right? That's what we believe. That's what people are going to believe. And then this man of sin, or the anti-Messiah, will come ushering in a false peace. Okay, a false peace, a peace that has the implications of him bringing the world together, but it's really to bring the world together for Luciferian and worship of Hashatan. Okay, now what I find interesting about this image is this boy right here, and it's kind of hard to see him, but he looks like a little Donald Trump. Now, I'm not saying Donald Trump is the anti-Messiah. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying possibly. And he's got a magic wand in his hand. You can't really see it, but he has a magic wand in his hand. You can see that general that, you know, that slayed the dove is now dead. And now there's a rainbow and the false peace. Okay. And then right here in this image, you can see, you know, fires and destruction, which I think that this image would be after, or, you know, around the time of where you see the death and destruction and the killing of the dove, right? And then you see like the phoenix right here, the phoenix rising from the ashes, which is the New World Order of the ages. That is the occult theology of the Luciferians. We destroy the world and we build it back up better. Okay, so when you think about the Democrats build back better, that means to introduce this new world order. Okay, so they will destroy the current world order and they will introduce this new world order under this false premise of peace. Okay, and that's also what this represents. And I think that this is also part of the climate change lie. Okay, believe in climate change, even though it's really destruction of the Most High. right? But they're telling you, oh, this is climate change, and so we need to create these climate laws, and we need to track your carbon footprint because you're hurting the economy and you're hurting the climate by driving all these cars. So we want you to drive electric vehicles so we can shut them off at any time. Therefore, we can control you, because that's what it's all about. It's all about control, right? So this is just another example of that. Let's keep going. Larger. I can't make it any larger for some reason. This is like the best it will do for this this image, unfortunately. Yeah. Unless I save the images, I could save the images and bring them up on the screen. Give me a second, y'all. Give me a second. Give me 1 second. If y'all want to see it a little bit better, I'm going to just save it, and then I'll pull it up on the screen so you can see it. So let's do this one. And I'll just make it bigger so y'all can see it a little bit better. Just give me 1 second. Let me just save these. This is 2. And then I definitely want you guys to see this one a little bit better. Save image. Okay. All right. Bring it up on the screen so y'all can see it a little bit better. Give me 1 second. Let me pull it up here for you. That way you guys can see it a little bit better on your screen here. So let me just show you this. I'm going to pull it up here on my StreamYard and show you guys a better depiction of it. You can see it a little bit better. Give me 1 second. Let me go to the desktop. I save it to the desktop. Okay. All right. So I'm going to bring up these images one by one, and I'm going to go through them and explain them to you. So let's go back to the image that I think is important that you couldn't really see. There we go. All right. So I can't point on it, so you got to really pay attention, okay? But if you look on your screen, you will see this boy with blonde hair, okay, and blue eyes, all right? And of course, on the image, you see all these images representing and these different depictions of what says peace, okay, in all these different languages, okay? And then you see Israel and you see Iran. If you look to the far right side of your screen on this image, you're going to see Israel and Iran, okay, together, all right? Then you're going to see Amerikkka, and then you're going to see the UK flag, and then you're going to see the, the Pakistani flag and all of these things, right? This is talking about bringing all the people together under this false premise of peace, okay? And this man, or this man of sin, ruling in power during this false time of peace, if that makes sense, okay? Yeah, the guy with the red on his chest, the little boy, I can't point to him on the screen, but he's in the middle. And you can see he has a suit on, and he's got like this red bow tie thing. He's got like a gray suit on, and his hand is stretched up, okay? I believe this could represent Donald Trump. Now, I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but I'm just saying it's something I'm thinking about, something I'm considering looking at this. Now, there could be a different understanding. It could be the anti-Messiah. It could be, the Edomite king of the New World Order, right? But I just want y'all to see that because I think that tells you something, okay? All right. So y'all see that. Now we're going to look at one of these other images, and we're going to get a little bit more understanding in some of these other images that I'm going to show you. So let me pull up the next one. Give me a second here. All right. So that was the first one. First one I want to show you. And I'll give you a closer look at the other ones we looked at too, just in case you weren't able to see it enough. So let me pull up the next one. Give me a second. Okay. All right. Okay. So we're going to pull up the next one here. And this is going to be kind of another example of this reemergence of this false peace. All right, so this is the next one here. Let me zoom in so I can see. All right, so this one's a little blurry, but I'm going to try to explain it to the best of my ability. Notice the flower, that bright flower with the glow around it. And notice how all these different nations of people are gathering around this glowing flower, okay? This is also a symbol of this new world order, okay? This new horizon, so to speak, this satanic horizon, this Luciferian new world order that is emerging and blossoming like a plant, that all the world, because of the chaos and all the destruction that's taken place, the nations are now running towards this false light. And that's why this flower has a glow around it, because it represents the false light of Lucifer, which is Freemasonry, which is what they believe. Okay? So all the world is going to be gathered around the light of Lucifer, believing in this false peace and this anti-Messiah. And it also represents the anti-Messiah and the kingdom that he will establish, okay, before Yahusha comes back. Okay, y'all follow me so far? I hope I'm doing a good job of breaking this down. And yes, I think that's a very, very, very good observation, Nagwanda. I think that's a great observation. I think it also represents the forbidden tree of knowledge of good and evil. Okay, so I think that that's a very good observation. I think you can look at it like that as well. So I think that's also very important to understand. Very, very good observation, sis. All right, let's pull up this next thing here, this next slide. All right, let's see, got the next one. Where is it? Okay, all right, let's pull up this next one here, and then we'll look at the first one again so we can connect all these dots here for you. All right. And then there is the one that I showed you before, but see, people are saying they're having a hard time seeing it. And then this is the next one. Okay, so remember the chaos and destruction. And let me pull up that last one, the one with the destruction and all that. We're gonna pull that one up too, so we can put all these in context together. So let me pull up the first one. Okay, this one right here. All right, let's go back to that. Okay, all right. So you have the chaos, you have the destruction, you have the people dying, you have the massive DEP to the O to the P. Okay, I can't say that out loud on here because you know they're not gonna like that on YouTube for real. You know what I'm saying? So let me pull up this one now here. Okay. All right. So you have chaos, destruction, peace being taken from the earth, people crying, babies dying, war, destruction, and all of that. Okay, then that's continued over here. All right, people are dying. There's sadness. There's all these things that are happening. And then this individual comes, okay, and he says, I can fix the world. I can make the world a better place. I can bring everybody together. There will be no hate. There will be no intolerance. There will be unity for all. Okay, and then thus comes the new world order that the nations run to because of the chaos and destruction. And that's essentially what these murals depict. Okay, so it's a plan of what they have or what's to come. And I'm not gonna say that all the destruction is gonna be Yahuwah. A lot of the destruction is gonna be things that they're gonna do. That's a fact. You feel what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, a lot of it will be the destruction of the Most High, and that's how this anti-Messiah will turn the world against the Most High. I mean, they're already in that mindset of being against the Most High. I mean, they're all Satanists. And when I say Satanism, I'm not talking about just bowing down to the devil. Okay, this do what thou wilt stuff. This I don't need to keep the laws and commandments of Yahuwah. Doing what thou wilt, which is what Aleister Crowley proposed, that is Satanism. Okay, doing whatever you want, living how you want to live. These rappers be talking about you only live once. That is a Luciferian mindset. That's what I'm saying. Yahuwah is an Alua of order. That's why we keep his commandments, because we adhere to he who created us and gave his children and those who believe in him instruction. Okay? A society will collapse without laws. A society will collapse without order. And that's why Yahuwah is an Alua of order. Okay? Donald Trump says he can fix it, and that's part of the deception. People believe he can, and they don't realize he's a globalist. Okay, he's just like everybody else. He's just a little bit more better at playing it off. But actually, he ain't really that good at playing it off either, because, I mean, you could tell that he's one of them. I mean, he was pushing the ouchie ouch. He calls himself the father of the VXX. Okay, that should tell you something. All right, we're going to keep going, family, but I just wanted to show you that real quick. So you guys saw the mural of the Denver airport. You saw a little bit of the conspiracy with Colorado, and you also saw that horse, that Lucifer. This image right here, that is of this horse. And the person who created this image, the image in his studio literally fell on him and killed him, of a demonic horse. So another idol, okay, in the land of Babylon. Now, let's continue on. All right, a little bit of a side note, but I think that I think it has some importance to what we're discussing here, fam. Okay, let's look at this next thing. Now, I want to show you this because it's important you understand why America will be judged. Okay, and we're going to get to the scriptures in a minute. Now we're going to look at some of these statues of these slave owners. Since we already looked at their idols, we got to understand that the slave owners are also considered idols too, because they're looked upon by the American people. Obviously not us who know who we are, but there's that. All right. So let's see here. So look at this. I'm going to just show you all these images of these slave owners. Capital Region statue monuments and symbols. Second look. Okay. So the colonial powers. This right here is Philip Sheridan on his horse, stands under the in the front of the state capitol. Sheridan allegedly said that only good Indians are dead. Okay, so this dude was a colonizer. He was a slave owner. He obviously had a hand in slaying the indigenous Americans that were already here. Okay, so again, you've got, and this is what I'm talking about. This is the pride of Babylon. Okay, they uphold these slave owners. They uphold the colonial powers. They uphold the colonial system of America. Okay, that's the pride of this nation. Okay, George Washington, a Freemason and slave owner. Okay, and I know y'all probably heard about Black Lives Matter, and I don't support the organization, but I do support the sentiments. Oh yes, Hebrew Lives Matter for sure. Yahuwah makes that clear. But I'm just saying that I remember when the whole Black Lives Matter George Floyd thing was going on and how people were destroying statues. You know what I'm saying? Of the colonial powers and the slave owners, and these Republicans were getting so mad about it. Talking about it's a monument. It's an idol. Burn it up. Tear it down. No, I'm just saying. YouTube, this is for educational purposes only. Just saying. So George Washington was a slave owner and a 33rd degree Freemason. And these are the idols that they put up. Founding fathers, slave owners. Okay, so this one right here says, this is a building named after a slave owner. Philip J. Schuler Achievement Academy, a public elementary school in Albany, largely Black West Hill neighborhood, is named after General Philip John Schuler, who was born and died in Albany. He was a hero of the American Revolution and became a U.S. Senator. Okay, so he was part of the Revolution and not the side of fighting against the Confederacy. He was with the Confederacy. All right, the colonial powers. Right here, you've got another depiction of this same guy, another colonizer, another colonial general that sided with the Confederacy. Okay. Now, this right here is, let's see, who is this? So this is an enslaved butler, a Negro slave, okay, a Yahudi slave. And this is his slave owner that is being depicted right here, okay? So we have a Negro slave on display, and they have his proud slave owner on display right here. And I think this is at a museum. The exhibition at the Schuler Mansion. So this guy, Schuler, this man right here, has a whole exhibition dedicated to him. And right here in plain sight, they got a Yahudi slave, and this man right here is free, and this is his slave owner. Please hit the like. Thank you so much, sis. This is another one of those plantations, okay, Cherry Hill. Yep, and you know, you can go throughout America. A lot of America still has a lot of these plantation houses, and all of that's still there. You can still find the shacks that our forefathers lived in. And this is another mansion of one of the slave owners, for sure. Yeah, okay. All right, now, the next thing I'm going to show you guys about this crusty country is its history. Now, I mean, we talked a little bit about it, but how many of you guys, I mean, we all know about the national anthem, right? Obviously, we know about it. But did you know, Yasharal, that there's a part in the national anthem about how there will be no refuge for the slave? Give me a 1 if you knew that. Give me a 2 if you did not know that. That there's a line in the original national anthem about there being no refuge for the slave. Give me a 1 if you knew that. Give me a 2 if you did not know that. I'm going to show you proof in a second. Oh, Kathy didn't know that. Abigail knew it. Okay, all praises. Shamika knew that. Let's see. Debar Yashalom says she did not know that. Dennis Austin knew that. Amiya Yaki Yada did not know that. Abiyahu knew that. Yummy didn't know that. Nagwanda didn't know that. Jeannie didn't know that. Yahudi Blue didn't know that. LA Confident didn't know that. Robin, hey, shalom, sis. King Shaw. Okay, so a good chunk of y'all did not know about this. Okay, wonderful. So I'm going to show you the lyrics to this song. And it's actually pretty interesting. But before I do show you that, I'm going to show you guys this this video that Jill Scott did. Famous neo soul R&B artist, daughter of Zion, Jill Scott. She did a song that that a lot of these Republicans did not like. They had a problem with it because she did a version of the national anthem that exposes the dark history of America. I'm sure y'all heard about that. I'm going to play her version first. Then I'm going to play you the reaction by the Republicans. Then I'm going to show you the original song. Okay? We're going to do it in that order. So let me go ahead and pull this up for you. And we're going to listen to what she said in this song and why these Republicans got so mad at her for telling the truth. Okay? Now, they got a lot of nerve being mad at her about this because the song itself is originally about this kind of stuff that she was singing about. So here we go. Let me make sure the sound's on for you guys. Okay. All right, family, here we go. This is Jill Scott.
Say, can you see by the blood in the streets that this place doesn't smile on you, colored child? Whose blood built this land? With sweat and their hands, but you'll die in this place. And your memory reigns. Oh, say, does this truth hold any weight? This is not the land of the free, but the home of the slave.
Woo! Powerful. The home of the slave. Not one lie spoken. And that's that soul, man. I'm telling you, man. Yahuda, man, powerful. And when she sung that song, family, you could feel the soul. You could feel the pain. This pent-up pain that our people have just been going through so long. You know what I'm saying? And it always comes out in the voice. It always comes out through song. You know what I'm saying? The way she felt it in her ruach. You know what I mean? And the way it came out. Now, I'm going to show you the reaction of the Republicans because they weren't too happy about this. They said that she defiled the nation by singing this song. How dare you tell the truth about us and what we've done? How dare you remind us who is going to judge us? Take a look at this. So this white American woman had a problem with it. And she said, I'll howl till they know This woman should be on her ass for defiling our national anthem. That should be considered treasonous. And look at that angry face emoji, 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 so on and so on. Right? Well, let's just look at the comments. So this Negro, Yahudi, daughter of Zion, said, but why you mad though? Why you mad? And then she said, better yet, ask yourself why you're not. Because we hate this country and her unrepentant ways. And in a second, I'm going to prove to you, Yahuwah hates this nation just as much as we do. Trust and believe. Oh, the word says it. I'll get there. Don't worry. This person says she would not have been paid by me. She was paid to sing the national anthem, not her anthem. F her. And then, of course, he had to post his pasty middle finger. Then somebody said, we have a First Amendment. It's not as if she took an assault rifle to children in school. Right, which is what's typical amongst them people, by the way. I mean, you don't see no black children going around shooting up a school. I think there's something going wrong in the white household with the white father and the white mother. Now, they love to blame everything on the black man and the black woman, but clearly our children are not going around terrorizing children in school, okay? That's y'all, okay? So y'all got a parenting problem that y'all need to fix, all right? Let's keep going. This person said, Trump led an insurrection against our country. He showed stolen top secret documents to anyone who visited his resorts, and we never know what info he and Jared gave to the Saudis for financial gain. But Jill Scott changed the words of the anthem and it's treason. Thank you. Thank you. This person said they agreed with this woman that wrote this. She just doesn't have the creativity to come up with original material. That was whole original material. That was whole original material. Now, again, if black people ain't creative, how about y'all create your own genre of music? Why didn't y'all build the country? Why did y'all need Negro slaves to build it? If y'all are so creative and so amazing, then why the heck did you build this country from a black man's free slave labor and some black women too, because black women were also working the fields? But we not creative? Then why do y'all copy everything we do then? Why do y'all copy our hairstyles? Why do y'all want to wear box braids, which, by the way, gonna make your hair fall out because Caucasians are not supposed to have hairstyles that Negroes wear because your hair texture is not meant for that. Just saying. Let's keep going. Obviously, these other Caucasians are agreeing with this American woman. Somebody said, why are you deriding the national anthem so hard? Oh, boy. Let's see. Jill Scott is a disgrace. This dude said, eat a D, Karen. She said what she said. And look what this white person posted. Look at this. Actually, no, this is a black woman. Wait a minute. Hold on. This was at the insurrection? Family, hold on. This, you see what I'm looking at right now, right? This black woman showed that this was on display during the insurrection of Donald Trump. Look at that. Look. They ain't talking about that, are they? Shout out to this black woman that posted this exposing what their agenda is. And I told y'all about this, but I'm glad you know now. It's just right in your face. This person posted, the American system that you enjoy was built on the back of black slaves and Indian massacres. The temerity of anyone who believes that God is just but will not revenge injustice is blasphemous. The Bible that you read says God visiting the iniquity of the fathers on their children and on the third and fourth generations. Exactly. Right. So Republicans say they believe in free speech, but not when it comes to talking about the truth. right? So, you know, as long as it's about supporting white supremacy, please give us free speech. But please don't let the Negro tell the truth, because we don't believe in free speech then. We don't support free speech when you're talking about Amalek. Please don't talk about Amalek. As a matter of fact, please don't talk about slick back Donald Duck Trump. No free speech there either. How are you any different than the liberals? I mean, if they're coming for your free speech because you say something about the LGBTQ, LCD, HTTV community, how are you any different if you're censoring free speech, right? I mean, I don't like the N-word with the hard ER. I mean, but I don't mean I feel like you should be censored for saying it. But what I will tell you is, if you're going to say it, just be ready to have something happen to you for saying it. There's always consequences that come with free speech, right? So if Negro Yahudi beats the crap out of you for calling him a hard ER, just remember, you believe in free speech. Just be ready for the consequences that come with said free speech. Okay. All right, let's keep going. Pure trash. Deport this B to Russia. Wow. This white man says, why do black people always have to make lyrics to the national anthem sound black? Because we got more soul than you, and we dominate everything we do. You know it's true. This person says, some trash where $12 million is played to no one. The home of the brave gave her that opportunity in life. Ungrateful B word. See, they love to say, how is she oppressed, but she makes millions and millions of dollars. But guess who owns her? Amalek, European Amalekites. So the white man is still in control. Show me a black man who owns their own label that makes millions of dollars that is not standing next to these Jewish bankers. Show it to me. Show me. Show me. I'm not talking about Bad Boy Records. That was funded by a Jewish man. I'm not talking about all these labels of these rappers that were co-signed by the Ish people. That's not being owned by black. That's being owned by Amalek. That's not ownership. Just because the black man is the face of the label, the white man put the money to put it together. Negroes don't own the dang thing. And how do you know she got millions and millions of dollars? You know these Jewish people be writing up these messed up contracts in the music industry. Y'all know it's true. Oh, you know it's true. Don't laugh, it ain't funny. No, I'm just playing. All right, let's keep going. But freedom of speech. And this person's like, isn't that what y'all yell? People are hypocrites, bro. This white woman says, this is disrespectful. You need to stop blaming everyone else and put the blame where it belongs. Influential people of color need to start rising up and taking a stand against black men who are killing other black men. Maybe someone they look up to can show them a better way. And who is responsible for that? I don't know. The Ashkenazi white Jews who pushed this culture on us. Yes, it's the white man that's responsible for this. Now, obviously, we should not allow the media to cause us to do this. But imagine if Amalek was pushing a culture of righteousness, telling us we the true people of the book, telling us we are Yahuwah's children, telling us the Torah is really ours, pushing righteousness upon our people. I think that we will follow suit. But it is a white man and the pale-faced Amalekite Jewish man that is getting paid and monetizing and searching out these Negroes in the hood to push this destruction on our people. So I blame the white-owned Ashkenazi media. There it is. Okay. We'll stop there. I think you guys kind of get the message. All right. Now, let's look at the original lyrics of this song so you can understand why what she said was not wrong, because they're saying that she changed the words of the song. And yet America did the same thing to hide the fact that the song was really about slaves. Take a look. So these are the lyrics. Let me make it bigger so y'all can see it a little bit better. All right. And we're going to read what these lyrics say in the original national anthem that they changed because they was trying to hide their hands. So it says the complete version of Star Spangled Banner showing spelling and punctuation for Francis Scott manuscript in the Maryland Historical Society collection. Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bomb bursting in air, so on and so forth, home of the brave and all of that, right? But what they skip is the third line, or is it the fourth? Oh, right here, the third line. So let's read it. And where is that band who so vauntedly swore that the havoc of war and the battle's confusion, a home and a country, should leave us no more? Their blood is washed out, our foul footsteps pollution. Now listen to this. No refuge could save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave. And the star-spangled banner in triumph do wave, oh, the land of the free and the home of the brave. So again, no refuge can save the hireling and slave from the terror of flight or the gloom of the grave. There it is right in your face. And I'm bringing it out, and I'm showing you that that's what they changed. That's what they hid from you. But yet they're mad at her because she changed the lyrics when clearly they changed the lyrics. Wow. The hypocrisy is crazy. Kathy said, I so did not know this. Thank you, Yaxter. Oh, you're welcome, Sid. Obviously, it's not something they want to talk about because they love to throw their rocks and hide their hands, unfortunately. But there is the truth. There's the truth right there in plain sight. All right, family. So I feel like I've proven enough here today. We're going to go ahead and jump into these scriptures so we can fully understand why America will be judged. I just wanted to show you guys that so it all makes sense. All right. Now, Ahava, hey, what's up, sis? All praise to the Most High. Good to see you. Shalom. All right. So let's look at the scriptures now. Now that we have gone through all these things, we're going to go into these judgments. And before we get to judgments, we're going to just look at some more of these examples of how we can understand that America's Babylon. Okay, so we already read about the witchcraft and sorcery in the last episode. All right, we already read about the daughter of Babylon has a mother. Okay, Babylon is marked for judgment. Okay, we already read about that. Babylon's the hammer of the whole earth. The other nations are drunk from her wine, meaning she is highly influential. And again, if you want to go through these, you can go to my blog. Link will be in the description. And you can also go to the first episode, which is in this playlist, in case you want to go back and watch it to get all these scriptures we already went through. We already looked at Babylon being a nation and not a religion, nor a system, because it is lived in by many other nations, okay? All right, I'm just going to reread this one in case people still believe it's not a nation. Yahu, Jeremiah 28:9, and the KJV would be 51:9. We tried to heal Babylon, but she was not healed. Let us forsake her and depart everyone to his own country. So this is clearly a nation. For a judgment is reached to heaven and is mounted up to the stars. All right, so we see it is a nation. We also read that mystery Babylon is located around many waters. Yahu, Jeremiah 28:13. In the Masoretic, it's 51:13. Dwelling on many waters and amidst the abundance of her treasures, thine end is come, verily unto thy bowels. We also read about how many men and businessmen have become rich in fornicating with mystery Babylon. This is Kazuna, Revelations 18, verse 3. Because all the nations have drunk of the wine of her wrath, of her whoring, and the kings of the earth have committed whoring with her, and the merchants of the earth have become rich through the power of her riotous living. All right, so let's move forward in this next episode here we're in right now. And let's look at more characteristics of Babylon so we can definitely identify it as America. So this is Yahu, Jeremiah 28:13. In your KJVs, in your modern day Bibles, it's found in Jeremiah 51:13. So it says, dwelling on many waters, as we just read, and amidst the abundance of her treasures, thine end is come, verily unto thy bowels. So we understand that Babylon, or the mystery Babylon, is a place that is dwelling on many waters, and it has lots and lots of treasures. Okay, let's keep going. Babylon has esteemed herself and lived luxuriously, and has turned her heart away from the grief that she has caused. Does that sound like America to you? It sure sounds like it to me. Revelations 18, verse 7. As much as she esteemed herself and lived riotously, recklessly, so much torture and grief give to her. So she's going to experience torture and grief for what she's brought up on us. Why? Because in her heart, she says, I sit as a queen, and I am not a widow, and I do not see mourning at all. So this country has ignored your suffering, Yasharal. They have downplayed it. They told you, forget about it. Babylon has said, I got money. I live in a nice house. I got a family. I own everything. I got power. I got all these things. There is no grief in the land. I don't see any mourning from the Negro. I don't see any mourning from Yashua. I don't know what they're crying about. They're free. They're no longer slaves. And who cares if they were once slaves? It doesn't matter. I'm rich. Okay? So she's esteemed herself. She's lived dangerously. And because of this, Yahuwah says, I will bring torture and grief upon her because she sits on her high horse and says, I don't see any mourning at all. I don't see any tragedy at all. I don't see any oppression at all. They deny it. And this is how you know that many of these patriots have fornicated with her, because they have her mindset. Okay. You ever notice when it comes to sexual, activity with somebody, a lot of times they say that, intercourse can cause someone's ruach to come into you. And you might just start to embrace certain ideals and certain things, all because you slept with them, because it is a spiritual thing. I mean, relations is not so much, it is physical, but there's definitely a spiritual aspect to it. So spiritually, many of these patriots and pro-America people have fornicated with her. Okay. And that's why they embrace her ideals. Okay. Let's keep going. Let's keep reading. The rich men who have profited from Babylon will mourn because they can no longer do business with her when she falls. And we are seeing that now. We are seeing many people from America fleeing this land. We can see the economy is going to trash. We can see that America is cooked. This is Kazun in Revelations 18, 11 through 12. And the merchants of the earth weep and mourn over her because no one buys their merchandise anymore. Okay? Businesses going bankrupt, people losing their investments, the economy going to trash. Facts. Merchandise of gold and silver and precious stones and pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all citron wood and every object of ivory and every object of most precious wood and bronze and iron and marble. So no one's buying the merchandise of the American businessman anymore. People are starting to look to other things. The American dollar is devaluing. BRICS is rising up and starting to become the central focus of the other nations because America's done. Let's keep going. This is Kazun 18, verse 15. The merchants of these, those who came rich by her, shall stand at a distance for fear of her torture, weeping and mourning. Okay, so they tortured you. You were mourning, you were weeping, you were asking for better treatment, you were asking for equality, you were asking for justice for Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, Eric Gardner, all of these, Tamir Rice, Ahmaud Arbery, Trayvon Martin, all of these things and these wrongs that have not been right, that have not been made right. That torture, that weeping, that mourning will be exacted up on her. Let's keep going. Babylon is a nation. As I said, this is Jeremiah 27:12 in your Masoretic modern day Bibles, 50 verse 12. Your mother is greatly ashamed. Who is that? Because remember, Mystery Babylon is the daughter of Babylon, the first previous two Babylons. Your mother that bore you for prosperity is confounded, confused. Remember the land of confusion? Nimrod? Okay. She is the last of the nations desolate. Oh boy. Babylon is the land of idols. And this is why I showed you guys all those images of these different idols that they believe in and that they put up and exalt. Jeremiah 27:38 in your KJV 50:38. And they shall be ashamed, for it is the land of graven images, and in the islands where they boasted. And we looked at all the images that are in America, all throughout this country. Okay. Now we're going to look at the judgment of Babylon, and I'm going to take you through just a few key points. Then we're going to go ahead and read 50 and 51 of Jeremiah for the full understanding of all that's going to happen to her. And these are also things to look for, family, because this will tell you what time we're in and why our deliverance is very, very soon to come. Okay. So you want to pay attention to these things I'm going to point out. Number one, Yahuwah is against Babylon. Let me give that to you again. The Most High, Alua of Yasharal, is against Amerikkah, Babylon, and will judge her. Yahu, Jeremiah 27, 31 through 32. In your KJV, it'll be 50, 31 through 32. Yahuwah says, behold, I am against the haughty one, says Yahuwah. For thy day is come, and the time of your retribution. And your pride shall fail and fall, and there shall be no one to set it up again. And I will kindle a fire in her forest, and it shall devour all things round about her. Okay? So fire is one of the first things to look for when we are understanding how we get up out of here. That's one of the judgments he's going to bring up on her. Let's keep going. Babylon has oppressed Yahuwah's people. Let's read about this. We already know this, but let's just have the scriptures back us up on this. Jeremiah 27, 33 to 34, and the KJV 50, 33 to 34. Thus says Yahuwah, the children of Yasharal and the children of Yahudah have been oppressed. All they that have taken them captive have oppressed them together, for they would not let them go. But their Redeemer, Yahuwah, is strong. Yahuwah Sabaoth is his name, and he will enter into judgment with his adversaries, that he will destroy the earth. But their Redeemer, Yahuwah Sabaoth, is his name. Okay? So this nation has oppressed us. And this also, when you factor in some of the people from the northern kingdom that are coming into America being treated like trash, these Americans telling them, deport them and kick them out of here, go back to Africa and all this other stuff, mistreating the Caribbeans, mistreating the Haitians, mistreating all of his children. Let's keep going. Babylon is taking Yahuwah's children into slavery and plotted against his children evil schemes. Why? Because they knew we were cursed. Now, this is a very interesting one, okay? Let's look at this. Yahu, Jeremiah 27, verse 7. In your KJV, this is 50, verse 7. All that found them consumed them. Their enemies said, let us not leave them alone. We always be like, we just want to be left alone. Stop, just stay away from us. Just leave us be. And they said, no, we're not going to leave you alone. Why? Because they sinned against Yahuwah. Okay? So they knew you were cursed. That's why they went to Negro land to go get Negroes. They didn't want Hamites. They wanted Yahudah because they knew who you were and they knew you were cursed and they felt like they were going to take advantage of you. This is why the slave Bible did not have the Torah in there, nor did it have the Old Testament, the so-called Old Testament, First Covenant, because it would have revealed you are the children of Yasharal. It would have revealed that, okay? So the fact that they removed that proves they knew who you were and they knew you were cursed and they didn't want you to know that, okay? Keep that in mind. He that gathered their fathers had a pastor of righteousness, okay? So he that who gathered our fathers from ancient Egypt and from these lands where we were scattered, will regather us because he is righteous. And he will recompense the heathen who has known you were cursed and use that against you to work out their evil schemes. Okay, let's keep going. Yahuwah will bring destruction and desolation on her, not just Babylon, but also her inhabitants. Now, again, if you are a Gentile and you cleave to Yasharal, this will not be your fate, okay? Because you will be with us. So you will be protected. And this will be most likely when we're out of here anyway. So you won't even be here to see all this. But all the Gentiles who hate us, this is for you. Jeremiah 27, 35 to 37. In the KJV, 50, 35 to 37. And he will sharpen a sword against the Chaldeans and against the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her nobles and upon her wise men, a sword upon her warriors, and they shall be weakened. A sword upon their horses and upon their chariots, a sword upon their warriors, and upon the mixed people in the midst of her. And they shall be as a woman, a sword upon the treasures, and they shall be scattered upon her water. So we know this is talking about America, okay? Because America is the land that sits upon many waters. As Elisha overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Now, y'all know he destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah because of the whole LGBT stuff that was going on out there. Well, he's saying America will be like Sodom and Gomorrah, completely destroyed, okay? And the cities bordering upon them, saith Yahuwah, no man shall dwell there, and no son of man shall sojourn there. So what's coming to America is complete and utter destruction, where no one who is here will be left alive. Not one. Ooh, boy, the Most High don't play. Okay, let's keep going. Jeremiah 27:13 in the KJV. This is 15:13. By reason of Yahuwah's anger, it shall not. Let me give it to you again. It shall not be inhabited, but it shall be a desolation. And everyone that passes through Babylon shall scowl, and they shall hiss at all her plagues. Okay, so we have confirmation. Our deliverance begins with fire, plagues. So we need to be looking for plagues, okay? That's another thing to pay attention to here. Let's keep going. Yahuwah will bring nations against her as judgment. So we're talking about war now, okay? So that will include other nations. That will include warfare. You see what's going on with Iran? You see what's going on with Iraq? Well, I mean, I got to do a little bit more research on this, but from what I understand, they are said to be the Medes, okay? And Israel is going to be the main one that makes sure America gets destroyed, okay? So let's watch. Jeremiah 27:41-42. This is in the KJV, 50:41-42. Behold, the people come from the north, and a great nation, and many kings shall be stirred up from the end of the earth. So it's not just one king. It is many kings that are going to set their eye on America and say, we are going to destroy this place. It's going to be destruction, y'all. It ain't no small thing, okay? Holding bow and dagger. The people are fierce, okay? And will have no mercy on Babylon. Their voices shall sound as the sea, then shall ride upon horses prepared for war, like fire against you, O daughter of Babylon. Oh, my. It's going to be finished. Yeah, Nagwanda facts. It's going to be completely done. And guess what? Yahuwah is so mighty. This will all take place in 1 hour and 1 day by the hand of the Most High. Let's prove it. Revelations 18:8. Because of this, her plagues shall come in 1 day. So there's another witness. There will be plagues coming in 1 day. Look for those plagues in 1 day. All right. Death and mourning and scarcity of food. Okay. So massive death, massive scarcity of food. And she shall be burned with fire. Okay, that's another witness. I told you fire is one of the plagues. Because Yahuwah, who judges her, is mighty. Okay? So we're looking for plagues. We're looking for fire. We're looking for massive death. We're looking for scarcity of food. We're looking for a multitude of nations to come destroy her. Okay? These are all things to look for, family, for our deliverance from the Most High. Okay? Let's keep going. Yahuwah will utterly destroy Babylon. Why? To avenge his people. So let me just make this clear. Everything I'm showing you is because of what has been done to Jacob. All right? All of this destruction and massive death and war and all this is about you. This is your Elisha that is fighting for you. Jeremiah 28:11. This is in the KJV 51:11. Prepare the arrows, fill the quivers. Yahuwah stirred up the spirit for the king of the Medes. And like I said, I believe that this could be possibly Iraq, Iran. Okay? I'm going to have to do a little more research, but that's what I'm leaning to for right now. For his wrath is against Babylon to destroy it utterly. For it is the vengeance of Yahuwah. Why? It is the vengeance of his people. It is the vengeance of his people. He's doing this for us. Jeremiah 28:24 and the KJV 51:24. And I will recompense to Babylon and to all the Chaldeans that dwell there, all their mischiefs that they've done to who? To Zion, before your eyes, says Yahuwah, for what they've done to you. This is what's happening. You can't tell me the Most High does not love us. I will never, ever in my mind have a thought in my mind where the Most High does not love Jacob. This is clear. And he's done this with many nations many times in the past. Okay? The Amorites, Ammonites, Egyptians. He going to do it to the Assyrians. He did it to Nebuchadnezzar's Babylon, Nimrod. He fights for his children. That's what he does. He's a man of war. Let's keep going. In 1 hour, family, pay attention to this, Babylon will be completely destroyed. All right? And this is in Kazuna, Revelations 18:10, verse 17, and verse 19. Standing at the distance for fear of her torture, saying, woe, woe, the great city Babal, the mighty city, because your judgment is come in what? 1 hour. For in 1 hour, such great riches was laid waste. And every shipmaster, wouldn't you be taken to Babylon in ships? It's becoming more clear what we talking about here, huh? Because our people weren't taken to Babylon in ships. They walked over there from the the Nebuchadnezzar came there with his men and took them and walked them from Jerusalem to Babylon in Shinar, which is Sudan. And we already know the land was in Africa. So this gives us a great context of what we're talking about here. And every shipmaster and every passenger and sailors. Okay, so this is going back to the men that treated our people, threw pregnant, Yahudi women overboard, that, threw Negroes overboard for no reason, beat them, flogged them. And every passenger and sailors, people who sailed the boats, their descendants, because obviously they're not here anymore, it's hundreds of years ago, their descendants. And as many as worked the sea for their living stood at a distance. And they threw dust on their foreheads and cried out, weeping and mourning, saying, woe, woe, the great city in which all who had ships on the sea became rich by her wealth. For in 1 hour she was laid waste. So pay attention to that. The land that had ships on the sea, by which her wealth came forward, in 1 hour will be destroyed. Boy. America's finished. And this is why I expose the things I do. This is why I tell people stop claiming America as the chosen land. None of this fits anything about this being the land. If anything, it fits the prophecies about it being destroyed. There's no way America's the chosen land. It's not. It cannot be when you read this. I'm just saying. Let's keep going. Yasharal and heaven will rejoice. Why? For Yahuwah's vengeance shall come upon Babylon. So I want y'all to understand something here before I read this. When he destroys this nation, it is okay to rejoice because even heaven will be doing it. Let's look at the witness. Kazun, Revelations 18:20, rejoice over her, you heaven, and you Kadash apostles and prophets, for Yahuwah has avenged you on her. So even the Malachim, the heavenly host, the angels, will also be rejoicing when she is destroyed. There's nothing wrong with rejoicing. It says that we're supposed to. The prophets, the Nabim, the Kadash people, and the host of heaven will be rejoicing when she's destroyed. Let's keep going. Babylon's young men will not be spared. Okay? Jeremiah 28, verse 3. In the KJV 51, verse 3. Let the archer bend his bow, and him that has put armor, put it on, and spare not her young men, but destroy all of her hosts. Destroy all of them. The young men, the babies, the children, the parents, everybody. And again, if you're in covenant with Yahuwah, you will not experience this. All right. Now that we've looked at a little bit of those talking points, we're going to go ahead and we're going to read a little bit more about the fall of Babylon. So we're going to read Revelations 18 in its entirety. And then we're also going to go through 50 and 51 so we can get all of the understanding. Okay. We'll read a little bit more of these scriptures that kind of talk a little bit more about her destruction. Okay. All right, family. So here we go. Revelations 18, 2-4. And he cried with a mighty vow saying, Babal, the great, is fallen, and has become a dwelling place of demons, A haunt for every unclean ruachut or spirit, and a haunt for every unclean and hated bird. Okay? The eagle, the unclean bird. All right? And remember, Yahuwah said, I will send a nation that comes upon you as swift as the eagle. 3. Because all the nations of the earth have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her whoring, and the sovereigns of the earth have committed whoring with her, and the merchants of the earth have become rich through the power of her riotous living. And I heard another voice from saying, heaven, come out of her, my people, lest you share in her sins, and lest you receive of her plagues. Now, what I'm going to tell y'all is, when people tell you you need to flee Babylon right now, I'm going to tell you that's not the truth, okay? Yahuwah will make it known when it's time for us to go. Okay. And when he tells you it's time to go, it's time to go. All right. He will make it known when it's time for his children to leave. Because again, this destruction is not for you. It's for your enemies. Okay. So he will make it known when it's time to go. When you start noticing the destruction, the plagues, and all of these things that are happening, I believe around that time, Yahuwah will make it known it's time for us to go now. He's not going to let all this happen without you knowing. Okay, especially because you're Yahshua and he's fighting for you. He will let you know, okay? But we should not go before he lets us know, all right? If he leads you to leave prior, all praises to the Most High. But don't be telling other people what they need to do instead of just telling them to seek Yahuwah and see what he tells you to do. If he tells you to stay, stay until it's time to go, all right? 5. Because her sins have piled up to reach heaven and Yahuwah has remembered her unrighteousness, render to her as she did render to you, and repay her double, okay, according to her works. In the cup which she has mixed for her double. As much as she esteemed herself and lived dangerously and riotously, so much torture and grief give it to her. Because in her heart she says, I sit as a queen and I'm not a widow, and I do not see mourning at all. Revelations 8. Because of this, her plague shall come in one day, death and mourning, scarcity of food, and she shall be burned up with fire, because Yahuwah Alua, who judges her, is mighty. And the kings of the earth who committed whoring and lived riotously with her shall weep and mourn over her. And I said riotously, not righteously. So I just want to be clear. I don't want y'all to misunderstand what I was saying. Riotously, living crazy, living dangerous, living wickedly. All right? And when they see the smoke of her burning, standing at a distance for fear of her torture, saying, woe, woe, the city of Babal has fallen, and the mighty city, because your judgment has come in 1 hour. All right? And the merchants of the earth weep and mourn over her, because no one buys her merchandise anymore. Why? It's all destroyed. Merchandise of gold and silver and precious stone and pearls and fine linen and purple and silk and scarlet and all citron wood and every object of ivory and every object of the most precious wood and bronze and iron and marble and cinnamon and incense and fragrant oil and frankincense and wine and oil and fine flour of wheat and cattle and sheep and horses and carriages and bodies and lives of men, all of it destroyed. And the fruit that you're being longed for has gone from you, and all your riches and splendor are lost to you, and you shall find them no more, not at all. So all the riches that these Gentiles brag about, that's why Yahuwah said, envy not the oppressor. Don't envy them, okay? Don't envy them, because you are the one leaving here with great possessions, Okay? And I don't believe it's going to be taken away because it's going to be destroyed completely. I believe it's going to be forced by Yahuwah to make them give it to you. Okay? He will take it from them and give it to you. You're not leaving here empty-handed. You're leaving here with money. You're leaving here with cattle. You're leaving here with gold. For everything you've experienced, he will recompense and give it to you, Yasharal. Fear not. Verse 15, the merchants of those who became rich by her shall stand at a distance for fear of her torture, weeping and mourning and saying, woe, woe, the city that was dressed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and adorned with gold and precious stones and pearls. For in 1 hour such great riches was laid waste, and every shipmaster and every passenger and sailor and as many worked to sea for their living stood at a distance and cried out when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what is like this great city? And they threw dust on their foreheads and cried out, weeping and mourning and saying, woe, woe, the great city in which all who had ships on the sea became rich by her wealth. For 1 hour she was laid waste. Rejoice over her, O heaven, and set apart emissaries and prophets, for Eluah has completely avenged you on her. And one mighty messenger picked up a stone like a great millstone and threw it into the sea, saying with such a great rush, the great city Babel shall be thrown down and shall not be found any more at all. And the sound of harpists and musicians and flautists and trumpeters shall not be heard in you anymore at all. And no craftsman of any trade shall be found in you anymore at all. And the sound of a millstone shall not be heard in you anymore at all. And the light of the lamp shall not shine in you anymore at all. And the voice of the bridegroom and bride shall not be heard in you anymore at all. For your merchants were the great ones of the earth, and for by your drug, sorcery, all the nations were led astray. The drug culture, the witchcraft, pharmakia, Big Pharma, the VXX, the Tuskegee experiment, the medical experimentation on the Negro, the planned you-know-what centers, all of it gone. 24, and in her was found the blood of prophets and the Kadashim, his children, and of all who were slain on the earth. My, oh my. Yashayahu 28:9, 8-9. Hearken with great attention and call you Yahu or Uriah to the watchtower. Yahuwah spoke, and I stood continually during the day, and I stood in the camp all night. And behold, he comes riding in a chariot and a pair, and he answered and said, Babylon is fallen, fallen, and her images and her idols have been crushed to the ground. Jeremiah 27, 1-46, and this is Jeremiah 50, 1-46. So we're going to read this whole thing because there's more that we didn't focus on that I showed you in some of these little smaller instances of the scriptures we went through. And we'll close it out with 51 and 52. Okay, here we go. The word of Yahuwah, which he spoke against Babylon, and he's telling you, proclaim among the Gentiles and cause the tidings to be heard and suppress them not. So we are called to tell the Gentiles Babylon is going to be destroyed. That's your job. That's what he commands you, okay? Say ye, Babylon is taken. Belus is confounded. The fearless, the luxurious Merodach is delivered up. For a nation has come against her from the north. Again, nations will be brought against her. He shall utterly ravage her land, and there shall be none to dwell in it, neither man or beast. In those days and at that time, the children of Yasharal shall come, they and the children of Yahudah together. They shall proceed weeping as they go, seeking Yahuwah. They shall ask the way till they come to Zion. For that way shall they set their face, and they shall come and flee for refuge to Yahuwah, their Eluah. For the everlasting covenant shall not be forgotten. My people have been lost sheep. Their shepherds thrust them out. They caused them to wander on the mountains. They went from mountain to hill. They forgot their resting place. All that found them consumed them. Their enemies said, let us not leave them alone because they've sinned against Yahuwah. He that gathered their fathers had a pasture of righteousness. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and from the land of the Chaldeans and go forth and be as serpents before sleep. And obviously this is going to be at that time. He's going to let us know it's time to go because we're going to seek his face and we're going to go after him. And he said his covenant shall not be forgotten. Okay. For behold, I stir up against Babylon the gathering of the nations out of the land of the north. Okay, so they're going to come from the north. Pay attention to the northern nations in Europe. And they shall set themselves in array against her. Then shall she be taken, as the dart of an expert warrior shall be returned empty. And Chaldea shall be a spoil, and all that spoil her shall be satisfied. Because you rejoiced and boasted while plundering my heritage. You boasted, you laughed. You called us bywords, you mistreated us. You made those racist cartoons, okay? You boasted in our oppression. Therefore, you plundered his people. Because you exalted as calves in the grass and pushed with the horns as bulls, your mother is greatly ashamed. Your mother that bore you for prosperity is confounded. She is the last of the nations, desolate. By reason of Yahuwah's anger, it shall not be inhabited, but it shall all be a desolation. And everyone that passes through Babylon shall scowl, and they shall hiss at her plagues. Set yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all that bend the bow, shoot at her and spare not your arrows, and prevail against her. Her hands are weakened, her bulwarks are fallen, and her wall is broken down, for it is vengeance from Yahuwah. Take vengeance upon her, as she has done, do it to her. Utterly destroy the seed out of Babylon, and him that holds a sickle in the time of harvest, for fear of the Greek sword. They shall return everyone to his people, and everyone shall flee to his own land. Yasharal is a wandering sheep. The lions have driven him out. The king of Assyria first devoured him, and after this the king of Babylon has gnawed his bones. Therefore thus saith Yahuwah, behold, I will take vengeance on the king of Babylon and upon his land, as I took vengeance on the king of Assyria. Okay? So even the president will be destroyed. We all know that. And I will restore Yasharal to his pasture, and he shall feed on Carmel and on Mount Ephraim and in Gilead, and his soul shall be satisfied. In those days and at that time, they shall seek for the iniquity of Yasharal, and there shall be none. And for the sins of Yahudah, they shall not be found. For I will be merciful to them that are left on the land, saith Yahuwah. Go up against it roughly, and against them that dwell on it, avenge your sword and destroy utterly, says Yahuwah, and do according to all that I command you. A sound of war and great destruction in the land of the Chaldeans, Babylon. How is the hammer of the whole earth broken and crushed? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? They shall come upon you, and you shall not know it. Babylon, that you will even be taken captive. Wait a minute, you will be taken into slavery. Uh-oh. Joel chapter 3, Obadiah, Dabarim 30 verse 7. So there's not only destruction, but slavery. He said that no man shall be in the land. You know why? Some of them going into slavery by the Sabians. You're going to have many of them that's going to be destroyed. But many of them are going into slavery. Okay, just like they took you into slavery, what they did to us, it shall be done to them. You are found and taken because you did resist Yahuwah. Verse 25. Yahuwah has opened his treasury and brought forth the weapons of his anger. For Yahuwah has a work in the land of the Chaldeans. For her times are come, open her storehouses, search her as a cave, and utterly destroy her. Let there not be no remnant of her. Dry all her fruits, and let them go down to the slaughter. Woe to them, for their day is come, and the time of their retribution. A voice of men fleeing and escaping from the land of Babylon to declare Zion the vengeance that comes from Yahuwah. 29. Summon many against Babylon, even everyone that bends the bow, camp against her round about. Let no one of her people escape. Render to her according to her works, according to all that she's done. Do it to her. For she has resisted Yahuwah, the Kadash Alua of Yasharal. Therefore shall her young men fall in the streets, and all her warriors shall be cast down, says Yahuwah. So even the military will not prevail against what Yahuwah is going to do against her. Behold, I'm against the haughty one, says Yahuwah, for the day is come and the time of your retribution, and your pride shall fail and fall, and there shall be no one to set it up again. And I will kindle a fire in her forest, and it shall devour all things round about her. Thus says Yahuwah, the children of Yasharal and the children of Yahudah have been oppressed. All that they have taken them captive have oppressed them together, for they will not let them go. But their Redeemer is strong. Yahuwah Sabaoth is his name. He will enter into judgment with his adversaries, that they may destroy the earth. And he will sharpen a sword against the Chaldeans and against the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her nobles and upon her wise men, a sword upon her warriors, and they shall be weakened, a sword upon her horses and upon her chariots, a sword upon her warriors and upon her mixed people in the midst of her, and they shall be as a woman, a sword upon the treasures, and they shall be scattered upon her waters. And they shall be ashamed, for it is the land of graven images, and in the islands where they boasted. Therefore shall idols dwell in the islands, and the young monster shall dwell in it, and shall not be inhabited any more forever. As Yahuwah overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the cities bordering them, saith Yahuwah, no man shall dwell there, and no man shall sojourn there. Behold, the people comes from the north, and a great nation, that many kings shall be stirred up from the end of the earth, holding bow and dagger. The people is fierce, they will have no mercy. Their voices shall sound as the sea, and they shall ride up on horses, prepared for war, like fire against you, O daughter of Babylon. The king of Babylon heard the sound of them, and his hands were enfeebled. Anguish overcame him. Pangs as a woman in travail. Behold, he shall come up as a lion from Yardan to Gathan, for I will speedily drive them from her, and I will set all the youth against her. For who is like me, and who will resist me? And who is this shepherd who will stand before me? Therefore, hear you the counsel of Yahuwah, which he's taken against Babylon, and his devices which he's devised upon the Chaldeans inhabiting it. Surely lambs of their flock shall be destroyed. Surely pastures shall be cut off from them. For the sound of the taking of the Babylon, the earth shall quake, and the cry shall be heard among the nations. So even the surrounding nations, all these other nations, will be completely crying out when America is destroyed. All right. And we're going to finish this up with 51. In the KJV, this is 51, 1 through 64. And in the Septuagint, this is Jeremiah 28, 1 through 64. Thus says Yahuwah, behold, I stir up against Babylon, against the Chaldeans, dwelling therein, a deadly burning wind. And I will send forth against Babylon spoilers, okay, these other nations. And they shall spoil her and shall ravage her land. Woe to Babylon round about her in the day of her affliction. Let the archer bend his bow, and him that has armor put it on, and spare not her young men, but destroy all her host. And slain men shall fall in the land of Chaldeans, and men pierced through shall fall without it. For Yashua and Yahudah have not been forsaken of their Eluah, Yahuwah. Whereas their land was filled with iniquity against the Kadash things of Yasharal, flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver everyone his soul. And be not overthrown in her iniquity, for is the time of her retribution from Yahuwah. Okay? So when this starts to happen, that's going to be the time. Yahuwah's going to let us know it's time to go. Do not stay behind. If you stay and you say, oh, but I got to get my homeboy, and I got to get my mom, and I got to get my daughter, and I got to get my son. When this stuff starts to happen, it's time to go. And he will make a way for us to go. Okay? He's going to gather his children. But when he says it's time to go, you do not hesitate. Matter of fact, y'all should already have y'all bags packed. So y'all family who don't want to see the truth, you continue to warn them, all right? But when that day gets here, it's too late for them, okay? I'm sorry to tell you that, but it's going to be too late for them, all right? So when he says it's time to go, it's time to go, all right? He is rendering to her a recompense. Babylon has been a golden cup in Yahuwah's hand, causing all the earth to be drunken. The nations have drunk of her wine, therefore they were shaken. And Babylon is fallen suddenly and is broken to pieces. Lament for her, take balm for a deadly wound, if by any means she may be healed. We tried to heal Babylon, but she was not healed. Let us forsake her and depart everyone to his own country, for her judgment has reached to the heaven, it is mounted up to the stars. Yahuwah has brought forth judgment. Come and let us declare in Zion the works of Yahuwah, our Eluah. Prepare the arrows, fill the quivers. Yahuwah stirred up the spirit of the king of the Medes, for his wrath is against Babylon to destroy it utterly, for is Yahuwah's vengeance, is the vengeance of his people. Lift up a standard on the walls of Babylon, prepare the quivers, rouse the guards, prepare the weapons, for Yahuwah has taken the work in hand, and will execute what he has spoken against the inhabitants of Babylon. Dwelling on many waters and amidst the abundance of her treasures, thy end is come verily into your bowels. For Yahuwah has sworn by his arm, saying, I will fill thee with men as with locusts. Okay, so there won't be physical locusts this time, but men, okay? Talking about a bunch of people from these other nations flooding in here. Okay, that's another sign. So instead of physical locusts like it was in Egypt with the first Exodus, he's going to fill Babylon with men as he did with locusts. Okay? And that they come down, shall cry against you. Yahuwah made the earth by his power, preparing the world by his wisdom, by his binah or understanding. He stretched out the shamayim or heaven. At his voice, he makes a sound of water in the heaven and brings up clouds from the extremity of the earth. He makes lightnings for rain and brings light out of his treasures. Every man is completely lost understanding. Every goldsmith is confounded because of his graven images. For they have cast false deities. There is no breath in them. They are vain works, objects of scorn. In the time of their visitation, they shall perish. So he will destroy all these idols, all of them. Now, 19. Not such is Jacob's portion. For he that formed all things, he is his inheritance, and Yahuwah is his name. You scatter me for the weapons of war, and I will scatter nations by you, and I will destroy kings by means of you. Again, he's fighting for you. And by you, I will scatter the horse and his rider, and by you, I will scatter chariots, and by them that ride in them. And by you, I will scatter youth and maid, and by you, I will scatter man and woman. And by you, I will scatter the shepherd and his flock, and by you, I will scatter the husbandmen and the husbandry. And by you, I will scatter the leaders and the captors. And I will recompense to Babylon and to the Chaldeans that dwell there all their mischiefs that they've done to Zion before your eyes, Jacob. You will see all of this. Somehow, some way, we will be able to witness this. Okay? Saith Yahuwah. So when he says that he will scatter these nations, that's the slavery. Just like you were scattered through slavery, they will be scattered through slavery. Okay? Behold, I am against you, the ruined mountain that destroys the whole earth, and I will stretch out my hand upon you. I will roll you down upon the rocks, and I will make you as a burnt mountain. And they shall not take you a stone for a corner, nor a stone for a foundation, for there shall be desolation forever, says Yahuwah. Lift up a standard in the land, sound the trumpet among the nations, consecrate the nations against her, raise up kings against her by me, and that for the people of Ashkenaz. Is that them Jewish people, Ashkenaz? I mean, it's right there. I'm just saying. You got them folks here. I'm just saying. Set against her engines of war. Bring up against her horses as a multitude of locusts. Okay, so again, we got a bunch of men coming here that will be as the locusts were in Egypt to bring destruction upon America, much like the locusts brought destruction to Egypt and attacked their crops. These men are coming to destroy Babylon as a whole. Bring up nations against her, even the king of the Medes and of the whole earth, his rulers and all his captains. The earth has quaked and been troubled because the purpose of Yahuwah has risen against Babylon to make the land of Babylon a desolation and uninhabitable. The warrior of Babylon has failed to fight. They shall sit there in a siege. Their power is broken. They are become like women. Her tabernacles have been set on fire. Her bars are broken. One shall rush running to meet another runner, and one shall go with tidings to meet another, with tidings to bring tidings to the king of Babylon, that the city is taken. At the end of his passages, they were taken, and his cisterns they have burnt with fire, and his warriors are going forth. For thus says Yahuwah, the house of the king of Babylon shall be threshed as a floor in the season, yet a little while, and her harvest shall come. He has devoured me. He has torn me asunder. Every darkness has come around me. Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, has swallowed me up as a dragon. Has he filled his belly with the delicacies? My troubles and my distresses have driven me into Babylon. She that dwells in Zion. Shall she that dwells in Zion say, my blood shall be upon the Chaldeans dwelling there? Shall Yerushalayim say, therefore thus says Yahuwah, behold, I will judge your adversary. I will execute judgments for you. I will waste her sea and dry up her fountain. And Yahuwah shall be Babylon, Salaki. Babylon shall be a desolation, it shall not be inhabited, for they rose up together as lions and as lions whelps. In her heat, I will give them a drought and make them drunk. Okay, so a drought, that's another thing to look for, that they may be stupefied and sleep an everlasting sleep and not awake, says Yahuwah. And bring them down as lambs to the slaughter and rams with kids. How has the boast of all the earth been taken and caught in a snare? How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations? The sea has come up on Babylon with the sound of its waves, and she is covered. Her cities are become like a dry and trackless land, not so much as one man shall dwell in it. Neither shall a son of man lodge in it. And I will take vengeance on Babylon and bring forth out of her mouth what she has swallowed down. And the nations shall no more be gathered to her. And in Babylon, the slain men of all the earth shall fall. Go forth out of the land that escape and stay not, you that are far off. Remember Yahuwah, and let Yerushalayim come into your mind. We are ashamed because we've heard our reproach. Disgrace has covered our face. Aliens are coming to our sanctuary, even into the house of Yahuwah. Therefore, behold, the days come, say Yahuwah, when I will take vengeance upon her graven images, and slain men shall fall on her land, for through Babylon shall go up as heaven. And though she would strengthen her walls with the power from me, shall come they that shall destroy her, says Yahuwah. A sound of cry in Babylon and a great destruction in the land of Chaldeans, for Yahuwah has utterly destroyed Babylon and cut off from her the great voice sounding as waters. He has co-signed her voice to destruction. For distress has come upon Babylon. Her warriors are taken. Their bows are useless, for Yahuwah recompenses them. Yahuwah recompenses and will make her leaders and her wise men and her captains completely drunk, saith the king. Yahuwah is his name. Thus says Yahuwah, the wall of Babylon was made abroad, but it shall be completely broken down, and her high gates shall be burnt with fire, and the people shall not labor in vain, nor the nations fail in their rule. The word which Yahuwah commanded the prophet Yahuwah Jeremiah to say to Sariah, son of Sariah, son of Masias, when he went from Sadias of Yahudah to Babylon in the 4th year of his reign, and Sarkias went over the bounties. And Jeremiah wrote in the book all the evils which should come upon Babylon, even all these words that are written against Babylon. And Jeremiah said to Sarkias, when thou art come to Babylon, shall see and read all these words, then you shall say, O Yahuwah, you have spoken against this place to destroy it, and that there should be none to dwell in it, neither man nor beast, for it shall be a desolation forever. And it shall come to pass, when you have ceased from reading this book, that you shall bind a stone upon it and cast it into the midst of Euphrates, and shall say, thus shall Babylon sink and not rise because of the evils which I bring up on it. All right. So that is the destruction of Babylon. Now, a lot of times when you read that, you're going to see that there's a lot of parallels that are put between ancient Babylon and mystery Babylon, which is why it mentions Nebuchadnezzar and all these other things, right? But Babylon, it says that Babylon would be no more. So if that's really true, then and they're talking about ancient Babylon, how does the Babylonian influence continue to live on if it's been completely destroyed and wiped away? It says that the idols of Babylon will be destroyed, right? But yet we looked at the remnants of ancient Babylon, and you can still see some of that paganism evidence. But we can still see this Babylon still got a whole bunch of idols that ain't been destroyed yet. So this is talking about America, even though it connects it to the destruction that ancient Babylon experienced. It can also be tantamount to what America will experience for real. So all praises to the Most High, family. That's all I got to share. Thank y'all again for coming through. I appreciate you. All praises to the Most High. I want to give thanks to the Most High Yahuwah for what he is going to do for his children, what he has revealed through our forefathers, the Nabim, Nabim, the prophets, Yaram Yahu, Yakazakal, Yashayahu, even Daoud, because he says some prophetic things. I want to give all praise to the Most High Yahuwah for just his love, how much he cares, how much he's revealed, how much he loves us and cares for us. There is no one like him, and he is worthy of all the praise. Yes, he is our father, and a good father chastises his children. And we had to be chastised for what our forefathers did. But we learned a valuable lesson that he's not to be played with. We learned a valuable lesson that we have an obligation to keep his laws and commandments, his Torah. We have an obligation to come back in covenant with him through Yahusha HaMashiach. And as long as we do that, we have nothing to fear. Not by the hand of this country, not by Donald Trump, not by Kamala Harris, not by the heathens. But according to what the scriptures say, they have much to fear. And that's if they don't know him. But Yahuwah is merciful to spare those who call on his name and come into covenant with them and cleave to his children. He's merciful enough to reveal these scriptures to the Gentiles so they don't have to experience this. He laid out all these sins of Babylon, and he doesn't want you attaching to it. These presidents will make sure that you partake of her sins just as much as they have. Don't let that be you. And I felt like it was very prudent Word of Truth Kingdom Ministries is in here. All praises to the Most High. Shalom, Aki. Good to see you. All praises. Yahuwah put it on my heart. I need to present this before the election so you guys can make a decision. Now, I know many of you here, y'all don't subscribe to the politics stuff, but I pray that this message will be received by those who are still on the fence, who don't fully understand what Yahuwah requires, which is full obedience and submission to him and his will and not man. So I love you all. Thank you guys again. If you guys have any questions, I'm happy to stick around. In case you guys have any questions or any thoughts you want to share with us, I'm going to open up the line, the panel. If you guys want to, drop in, or if you have any questions in the chat, feel free to chime in. Oh, while we wait, tomorrow we will be doing another lesson. And shout out to my Aki, Word of Truth Kingdom Ministries. He has suggested I do a teaching on this. Some of y'all probably know what I'm going to be doing a teaching on, but oh wow, I'm going to probably have to watch this later. A video about Ray Charles saying that black people invented rock and roll. I'm probably going to have to watch that later. Let me save that to my playlist. I definitely want to watch that later. Give me a second here. Okay, let me save this to my playlist because I want to watch this later. So tomorrow we're going to be doing a teaching on the pagan origins of birthdays and why we should not be celebrating them. Okay. And as a matter of fact, I made a new playlist. Let me show you guys something real quick here. I made a new playlist called Come Out of Her. So I'm going to be doing more episodes about coming out of everything that's against the Most High, even traditions, you know what I'm saying, that you might have been doing for a while. So this is this is my page right here. And you can see this is the main page. We're live right now. And this new series is called Come Out of Her. So I put the 2 episodes about the destruction of Babylon, so you can come out of her. We talked about the history of America and why you shouldn't vote and what both sides of these political parties are attached to. The biblical significance of 400 years is in this playlist. The hidden history of the Edomites, exposing FBA. Do not take the bait. Chaos is coming. Things about Torah you should know. Enduring the end times. Predictive programming, things of that nature. But tomorrow, we're going to be doing this episode, the pagan origins of birthdays, okay? Now, some people don't want to receive this, okay? But I'm going to prove to you birthdays are pagan, okay? We shouldn't be celebrating them at all. Now, I'm not saying that if Yahuwah has blessed you to see another year, it's not something where you can't say, thank you, the Father, for allowing me to see another year. Nothing wrong with that. But I'm talking about making a public declaration and having people wish you happy birthday, okay? We don't attach to that, all right? That's not something we should be doing. And I'm going to prove that tomorrow in our lesson showing the pagan origins of birthdays, okay? So I'm not going to give too much of that away, but we don't want to be celebrating anything pagan or doing anything Yahuwah doesn't want us to do. We want to come to full submission of our Father because there are great blessings that are coming our way if we obey our Yahuwah, okay? And I want that for every single one of you. I want you guys to inherit the blessings that have been promised to you. To the Gentiles, I want you to also inherit what he has for you in the kingdom. So that's why this message is being brought forward today. And I just pray that our people will come out of this strong delusion of Christianity, these religions, this politics stuff. America's done, okay? And these scriptures right here, they make it clear. No man is going to save her. What Yahuwah has purposed in his heart shall happen, and it shall be fulfilled. Kathy says, yes, I let my son know that it was revealed to me about birthdays being pagan, and just let him know I love him every day. I seen one yesterday, and he doing one on the 4th, and that date he was birthed. Wow. Interesting. Tanya says, I don't celebrate anything. I'm just wanting full understanding of the feast and how to appropriately do the covenants and all the actions addressed in Leviticus, I think, regarding repenting. So we do keep the feast days, and they are essentially a celebration. But if you want videos on the feast days and stuff, I'm going to show you how to get to it on my channel. Because, I've said this before, family. But when you go to my page, don't assume that everything you see right here is all my playlist, okay? I've got more, Okay, these are just they only allow you to have like a few playlists on the main page. But when you go to my page, be sure to go right here where it says playlists. Okay, because there's probably a lot of stuff you haven't seen. Okay, so if you go to playlists, you're going to see all of my stuff. So the Deceptive Pen of the Scribes, obviously my albums, The Hidden History of Amalek, exposing them people who call themselves the Chosen. Everything is a Lie Season 1, Everything is a Lie Season 2. The Media Matrix, all the lies they tell you in the media. That's a series we have. We have another series right here that I really like called Shots of Sirach, where we go through a lot of these wisdom books, like Sirach, a lot of the scriptures in Sirach, because Sirach is filled with wisdom. Okay, so that's another book I highly suggest you guys read. Let me show you some other stuff here we have. Scriptural affirmations. Maybe you might need some affirmations that are scriptural. I'm not talking about this new age, tell yourself certain things in the mirror kind of thing. I'm talking about scriptural affirmation. So that's a playlist you can go to if you need that. We have another playlist here called Perfecting Your Amunah, or Faith in the Most High. I think every beginner should go through this. When you're trying to strengthen your faith in the Most High, I think this playlist is perfect for you. False doctrine disproven, such as Yahusha is not the archangel Mikael. I hear a lot of people saying that. That's false. So this playlist has a lot of those doctrines disproven and other doctrines that are false. The Monsters of the Bible, that's a good one. I need to do the second episode. I haven't got to it yet, but we talked about Leviathan and the scriptural significance of Leviathan. And it's an actual monster that Yahuwah did create and how it ties into the end time. So we talked about that. The Spiritual World series is a good series for you when you're trying to understand spiritual things. So if you're trying to understand the virgin birth, we got a video on that. If you're trying to understand what the Malachim or the angels really look like and how they're not these fat, white, chubby babies that you've been shown, okay? How Yahuwah is Yahusha. We also have, why you have to be careful what music you listen to, what you watch, spiritual doorways, okay? We talk about that in the Spiritual World series, so be sure to check that out. If you need encouragement in these last days, we got a series for you for that. Do you feel alone? Fret not, Yahuwah is with you. We got scriptures and videos to encourage you in these last days. Okay, of course, we have uncomfortable biblical truths. Okay, so some things that Gentiles don't like to hear, some things we don't like to hear. We got a playlist for that. Lies of Christianity debunked. All right, this is another one. Okay, you got Christian friends. This is the playlist to send to them so they come out of that lie of Christianity. Okay, they told you Yahuwah's love and he's not terrible and he ain't an allure of wrath. Okay, that's one of the episodes we did. Check that out. The Israelite teaching, that's obviously on the first, on the main page, but we got 67 videos in this playlist. And I think every Israelite should be watching this series, period. Obviously, we got the documentary series. Now, for Torah stuff, that's where you want to go to here, which is Torah Talk teachings. Okay? And here we talk about the feast days. I walked you through Passover. I walked you through the fall feast days. Okay? Understanding Passover. Let me pause this. Okay. Pause this. Okay. Okay. So, for example, we talked about the fall and winter feast days of Yahuwah in this episode. We talked about Yom Kippurim. We talked about the Day of Atonement. We talked about Sukkoth. So everything you need to know about the fall and winter feast days is right here. Okay. Obviously, the Feast of Trumpets is in here as well. Also, Yahusha being in the Torah or the first covenant. We did a whole episode proving Yahusha is in the Torah. Okay. So people telling you he's not, they just don't understand the scriptures. We did a 2-hour, almost 3-hour episode on that. Understanding Passover. Okay. Everything you need to know about Pesach, that's about to come up, and that's going to be in spring. All right. If you have not ever did Pesach, this is the video for you. I take you through everything you need to know about how to do it properly. If y'all are new to this and you're trying to get the feast days right, this is the video for you. Also, what does it mean when it says that Yahusha did not abolish the Torah, but fulfill the Torah? I explain that in total fullness what it means. Okay, the Christians tell you he fulfilled it, so we don't need to keep it. That's a lie. This is the video for these Christians who told you he fulfilled the law, so we don't have to keep it, which don't even make sense. If it said he didn't abolish it, that means that it's not done away. But yet they still twist that to say that he did away with the law, which is foolishness. Also, we did an episode on the dietary laws. All right. So everything you need to know about eating meat, eating clean meat, unclean meat, what's applicable, what you're supposed to eat, what you're not supposed to eat according to Torah. We did an episode on that. This is a straight up video alone on Yom Kippurim, or the Day of Atonement, for more detail if you want to look into that. Yahuwah's appointed times. So kind of giving you a little bit of a breakdown, a little bit more of that. And we also have a free calendar you can download. So if you go to the video, you go to the description box, you can download the calendar for 2025 if you want to have all the feast days. And then lastly, we have the Messianic timeline of Yahusha's death, burial, and resurrection. Okay, because he died on a feast day. He was buried on a feast day. And then he rose on the Shabbat. And then he ascended into heaven as the first fruit, which is a feast day. Okay, so people that's like, well, Saturday is not the right day. It's not the Shabbat. Well, go look at that video because I can prove it. 3 days and 3 nights. The sign of Yunah or Jonah. Okay, I went through all of that. Okay, so that's a video for you to watch if you need to understand that. So like I said, family, just check out the playlist. I got tons of videos you probably just haven't seen yet. You know what I'm saying? And I would just say if you're trying to go through all of these, you know what I'm saying, that's totally fine. Tanya says, if I have questions when watching, is it okay to email you with them? Yeah, of course. Now, if you guys don't want to ask me questions here, you can always email me. And my email is contained on the little, if you look at the bottom of the screen, you're going to see that little scrolling bar, and you can see my email popping up right now. That's the email. Anybody can contact me, but please do not be contacting me, sending me, you know, all this extra stuff. Okay, I'm not here to do that. All right, if you need to contact me about the Bible, about Scripture, that's totally fine. Obviously, people in the Discord family have direct access to me. You can message me directly if you need to. Y'all Discord family, you already know what it is. But if you have questions or you just need to talk to me about anything, you can reach out to me privately in my email. Email is below. I'm not gonna say it out loud because I got too many trolls on here. All right, family. So that's it. Thank y'all again for watching. I'm going to just check the comments to see if there's any more questions before I run off. And yes, please hit the like button, family. I'd really appreciate it. Lorraine Yah says, I've been stopped celebrating these pagan holidays, right? I pray that no one knocked on my door for Halloween. No one did knock on my door. Hallelujah. Yada Yahuwah. I'm glad to see that, sis. All praises. Kathy says, I am not doing any more pagan ones. B-Days was the only one I celebrated, but not anymore. You're right, Tanya. I only want to be a serve Yahuwah and observe his Kadash days. Right. Facts. That's all it is. That's all it's about. Self-exaltation is pride. Getting people to worship you on that day you were born is wickedness. Exactly. And that's what it's about. And we're going to get to that in the study because it's really about Luciferianism. And we're going to get to that. Don't worry. I ain't going to, family, if I talk too much about it, I'm going to give away my whole lesson. So let me back it up a little bit. Like, whoa. Let me back it up. You feel me? Ahaviyah says, love the book of Sirach. Facts says it's filled with wisdom. So much wisdom. Scripture says, worship Yahuwah, not ourselves. Pagan B-Day celebrations include self-worship and some sin. I look forward to that live. Thank you, sis. All praises. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to worship ourselves. We want to make everything we do about the business of Yahuwah. Everything. That's your purpose. That's what being chosen is about. His purpose, his will. It is all about him. It ain't about you. It's not about you. It's not about us. It is always about him. That's why Yahusha says, I'm always about my Father's business. You got to be about the Father's business all the time, every day. Every day you wake up, you need to be thinking about what's another way I can do the will of Yahuwah. What's another way that I can submit myself to Yahuwah and please Yahuwah? That's our purpose. I don't celebrate anything. I'm just wanting a full understanding of the feast. Okay, yeah, I got you, sis. Like I said, check out the Torah series for the feast days and stuff like that. When is your next live? I think I have it. Let me double check. I don't want to, be wrong about it. Let me go back. I know it's going to be tomorrow, probably in the afternoon time, probably like around 2 p.m. You know what? Let's see. Because I've been trying to do early episodes because I know we got people like Word of Truth Kingdom Ministries, his wife. They usually be in the UK, so they're a little they're on a different time frame. I like doing night episodes, but sometimes they don't work out because sometimes I know people can catch the replay, but I try to make it so we can all gather. So I have this set tomorrow for 1:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that'll probably be when I'm going to premiere it. But that could change. I might push it back to about 2, just so I can have time to put it all together. So actually, yeah, we'll set it for 2 o'clock. So 2:45 p.m. is when we going to go live for this episode. Yeah. So 2:45 p.m. is when we'll do it. And yeah. So that's it, y'all. Thank y'all again for joining. Please be sure to hit the like button on your way out. And I love you all. Yahuwah be esteemed. And I will catch you guys in the next live. Shalom.
Hey, the laws ain't done away. Hey, a follower of the way. Yeah, King Yahusha is the way. Yeah, hey, the laws ain't done away. Done away, done away. Hey, the laws ain't done away. Hey, a follower of the way. Yeah, King Yahusha is the way. Yeah, hey, the laws ain't done away. Done away, done away. Hey, Yasharel, we the Kadashim progeny. And them curses got us living so lawlessly. Fell into idolatry, Yahusha is the prodigy. Babylon pulled us into sodomy, pornography. Seed of Satan brought falsity so flawlessly. Deuteronomy told us this was prophecy. Chapter 28, it speaks of these atrocities. They tried to hide slavery, but never offered us apologies. Wrote this album for my people, ain't no stopping me. Modern day Moses and Yahuwah, he is calling me. Censorship ain't stalling me, he gave his laws for all to see. In his kingdom, there is solidly just harmony. Yahusha the Messiah, yeah, he kept the law perfectly. Lamb of Yahuwah wasn't limited to carpentry. Spoken parables, taught the law so ardently. The Torah made flesh, and he lived it so awfully. Messiah kept the law, so it shouldn't be hard to see. Set apart spirit, help the law become a part of me. The narrow road I'm walking, that is honestly an odyssey. The law ain't done away, that is obviously some mockery. Yeah. Hey, the laws ain't done away. Hey, a follower of the way. Yeah, King Yahusha is the way. Yeah, hey, the laws ain't done away. Done away, done away. Hey, the laws ain't done away. Hey, a follower of the way. Yeah, King Yahusha is the way. Yeah, hey, the laws ain't done away. Done away, done away. Hey,
Hey, Yexer.